overseas, the secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen front-runners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
58 603 FM 102.9 105.9 AM 1310 and on your smart speaker News Talk KZRG.
A sentence handed down to a man involved in a double fatal motorcycle crash in Joplin.
It'll be 5 years of supervised probation for 20-year-old Colton Goddard of Welch, Oklahoma, who was racing another motorbike on Main Street back in September of 2023 while also fleeing from police. It all ended when one bike crashed into a third motorcycle there near the Casey's on North Main, which claimed the life of 60-year-old Mark McGowan of Joplin. It also killed 20-year-old Taryn Morris of Miami, who was racing and had been fleeing with Goddard. I'm Ty Albright, News Talk KZRG.
No tax on overtime. Kansas U.S. Senator Roger Marshall trying to make that a reality.
Again, it's a tax deduction for overtime wages, but it sets some guardrails around it. So it caps it at $10,000 for individuals and $20,000 for married couples. And then there's a deduction phase out if your income reaches $100,000 for an individual, $200,000 for married couples as well.
Marshall says that President Trump is also committed to the initiative. 58, time now 6:04. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker News Talk KZRG.
Memorial Day is quickly approaching. Outdoor 22, American Legion Post 13, and Mount Hope Cemetery are hosting Memorial Day ceremonies at 10 on Memorial Day morning to honor a fallen vet and turning his ashes for a final resting spot.
So we're going to be able to honor him with a proper ceremony on Memorial Day to get him the military ceremony that he earned and deserves.
Your Android device could be under attack. Time to do a software update.
Google is pushing a big update to its Android operating system for smartphones running either Android 13 or 14. It is a response to what Google admits has been a major attempt by hackers to exploit vulnerabilities in the mobile device software, something that could and would lead to malicious software code being executed on devices, compromising users' data privacy and giving bad actors remote access to the device. Phones running the newer Android 15 are not believed to be affected. The patches come with Android security fixes for this month. Eben Brown.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore earned the win after allowing one run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca blew past Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. It's free of charge. It's available at your app store. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bohorquez.
Next news at 6:30. Breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. A cloudy day, showers off and on, 65 today. Scattered showers and some thunder tomorrow, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
Weather is a service of La Boussole Medical Spa and Wellness Center. Physician-directed, world-class services at Joplin area pricing. Request a free consultation today at laboussolejoplin.com. That's LABOUSSOLE Joplin.com.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing light rain scattered throughout the 4 states. In fact, it's so light it's not really actually showing up on the radar at the moment. 55 in Neosho, 58 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Galena, 58 in Joplin. 100 weather updates every 24 hours on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time going on 6:08.
For over 100 years, we've been through it all together. Droughts, floods, a pandemic, inflation. At Tatum Motor Company, we're here to make your American dream come alive in 2025. Tackle any task with a full line of TYM tractors. TYM helps you get it done for less. The best tractor value in the industry. Tatum Motor Company in Anderson, Missouri and Toddytown, Arkansas.
I'm Paul with Tatum Motor Company, making the 4 states great again, one tractor at a time. Come by or visit us online at tatummotor.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. I hate this new Android update.
Hey, Tony. George is here. Gary, good morning to you, sir. Yeah, Apple had an update not too long ago that made me super upset.
I actually want to get rid of Gemini. They put Gemini on and took over all the Google functions, completely screwed up the phone.
What is Gemini?
It's their new AI.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get rid of it. I'm going to ask Google, how do you get rid of it? Because if we go back to Google being the one.
You can tell that Steve is very fired up about this topic.
You make a phone call. You just say,
"Hey Google."
The code, yeah, "Hey Google," and then the password or what you want it to do. No, I don't want Gemini to come up. And it says the first time you have to log into your.
These and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
Just before 6:10, it's just Ted.
It's just Steve.
And you're listening to Just, the greatest morning show in morning shows history.
Bajorquez and Scott.
Oh yeah. Well, no, because I'm thinking we should go. It's sort of like Cher. You know, Cher only had one name. I think we should be Just Ted, Just Steve.
That's 2 names.
Not if we hyphenate it.
You could just say Ted, Steve. That gets rid of the word just, which is another word.
I got to be honest, Steve. I feel like you're utilizing 100% of your brain this morning because that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, thank you.
Speaking of 100% of Steve's brain.
Wait.
Oh.
You just made an admission.
What?
I have a brain. Well, there goes my part in the Wizard of Oz.
Well, that's all right. I still don't have a heart, so, you know.
Amen on that.
I'm still pulling my weight on my end here, Steve. Speaking of Steve's brain, something that Steve spends a lot of time thinking about is ways of making me sad by not inviting me to things. But the other part of his brain is very dedicated and focused to weather, which we have a little bit of in the 4 states, don't we?
Yeah, we have light rain scattered throughout the 4 states. In fact, it is so light it is actually not hardly showing up at all on the radar. On most radars, I mean, you really have to zoom in a lot to get to show any of the light rain. But it is light raining, and it's enough to make it to where you have to keep your windshield wipers on and your headlights.
Yeah.
Because if you have your wipers going, you got to have your headlights on.
There is one radar that it does show up on, Steve.
Yours?
The radar of sticking your head out the window and feeling it.
That's true.
That's God's radar right there.
That's true. We're expecting a high today of only 65, so a lot cooler than yesterday. But the rain, it's supposed to continue. Oops, they just changed Friday. Friday now we have a chance of showers, which was taken off yesterday.
So we're extending it.
So we're extending it again and going back into rain.
All right. So, little wet. It was. We had a bit of a dumping, bit of a downpouring in the
That's
4
putting
states.
it mildly.
Mildly. Yeah, this morning it was actually quite loud. But right now we're looking fairly pretty here. We're sitting at 58 in Joplin, 55 in Neosho, 61 in the Pittsburgh area, 59 in the Commerce, Oklahoma area. Not too shabby for the time being. Well, the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce have announced the winners of the 2025 Golden Apple Awards. All right. Yeah. Now, last week we were reporting here on News Talk KZRG that these awards were going to happen, and the results are in. Now, the Golden Apple Awards, if you're not familiar, it has been a really fun and cool tradition for 40 years now. The Golden Apple Awards, they recognize excellence in the teaching profession in the Joplin community. Give a big shout out to our teachers. Hence, golden, you're like the big winner. The trophies are golden, and apple. You give your teacher an apple.
I didn't know they still did that. They did that back in my day, but that was back in the dark ages.
Back when apples were a delicacy that were very difficult to get your hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you had to worm your way into getting into an apple.
Boo.
Oh, wait a minute. That was an apple with a worm.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to give teachers food from home because one teacher got, poisoned once.
Yeah.
Not by me or anything, but just
it wasn't by you. Sure. Can you prove that?
Surprisingly enough, yeah. Well, and I didn't poison my teachers literally. Basically, what I did is I was just the most obnoxious kid in class, and I just poisoned their mental health and mental well-being for an entire school year.
And life carries on.
Oh, look at that. And I like to think they're stronger for it, It's sort of like they now know how to deal. They've dealt with me, the worst of the worst, and now it's smooth sailing for the rest of their careers.
Unless there's another miniature Ted somewhere in their school.
Oh, they're going to be in trouble. When I start getting mini Teds running around the 4 states area, everyone's going to be in a lot of trouble. Let me tell you.
All right.
But in any case, back to these Golden Apple Awards. Yeah, they recognize excellence in the teaching profession of the Joplin community. This year, 52 educators from Joplin's private and public schools were nominated by peers, students, parents, frenemies, traditional enemies, neighbors, randos, birds with notes strapped to them that came from somewhere.
Yeah, the birds, though, on the screen, on the keyboard, they have to hunt and peck.
Oh, is that what
That's with their beaks.
Okay. And so we have our big winners. Steve, can I get a drum roll, please? For the kindergarten to second grade category, our winner for excellence in teaching in the Joplin area is Stephanie Lynch of Soaring Heights Elementary School. For third to fifth grade category, our winner for teaching or excellence in teaching is Aaron Geeding of McKinley Elementary School. For the sixth to eighth grade category, our winner is Ann Landrum of New Heights Christian Academy. And for our 9th to 12th grade category winner, our winner is Brad Douglas of Joplin High School. Let's get a round of applause for all of the educators out there.
I actually know Brad. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. I have to say, finally, at the end of the list there, we got a little male representation in education excellence. Fellas, you got to boost those numbers up, pals. I don't know what the heck. The ladies are sweeping us and being good teachers.
If I remember correctly, Brad teaches broadcasting or like video editing, recording, and so forth.
Oh, all right. Nice.
Mass media.
Oh. We're sitting at a KZRG news time of 6:15 in the a.m. So, yeah, huge shout out for all of our excellent educators, both in public and private schools. In a lot of ways, and as I'm sure a lot of us know, of course, in a lot of ways, teachers, they play a pretty major role in raising our children. I mean, our kids spend 7 to 8 hours, 5 days a week with these people.
Or longer sometimes.
If they're part of extracurricular sports.
Or detention.
Yeah. I don't know why. See, my mind went to sort of the nice, oh, look at that. They're learning an extra language. Steve is detention.
Well, that's for the ones that act like you when you were in school.
That's true. See, back in my day, we had the traditional detention, but Steve, being 187 million years old, he can remember back when they would stick the dunce cap on him for public embarrassment.
Yeah, we did that and had a lot of...
The rulers, they whack your hands with the rulers.
Oh, I had one better than that. I had a teacher who had a map pointer. It was like a cue stick for playing pool. And it was like 6 feet long. And if you messed up, like, for instance, I did one day.
Yeah.
We were getting ready to have a test, and I forgot to bring an ink pen.
An ink pen?
No, I forgot to bring a pencil.
A lead pen.
Yeah, a lead pencil.
Mm-hmm.
So I had pens. And so he walked around the room, just, all right, everybody study. Comes back around and had me sitting on the front desk, which, by the way, he assigned the seating. Slammed that 6-foot map pointer in my book real loud, real hard, and said, "Scott, why didn't you bring a pencil?" And then it was kind of funny. The teacher next door came running across, got into the room, and said, "Because."
Nice.
The crowd just started.
Is that where you get your dad jokes from?
Could be.
Yeah. See,
the last I heard, which was about 3 or 4 months ago, he was still with us in his 90s.
Oh,
that
that's
teacher
nice.
was.
See, and by the way, that's further evidence that our teachers and educators play a major role in shaping our children. Steve got a big hint of his dad jokeness from his educators. Would you look at that?
Yeah, I learned from the best.
Yeah.
He probably got a golden apple back then.
Yeah. And then he used it to throw it at you for not bringing in a pencil.
True.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
he used the map pointer for that.
When I was, it's funny.
He's the one that gave me the name Mousetrap because I carried a briefcase to my 8th grade class.
You carried a briefcase to school?
I never had lockers before the 8th grade in our school system.
Did you?
So I didn't like a locker, so I carried a briefcase with all my books in it.
Sometimes me and Lucas here at the studio, we bully Steve a little bit. A little bit. Every now and then we poke fun at him. What I'm hearing, Steve, is that you were bullied your entire life because there's no way you went through the public education system with a briefcase and were not bullied for it.
At least through the 8th grade, I think. Actually, I carried it more than the 8th grade.
By the way, I'm anti-bullying.
At least the 8th and 9th grade.
Well, I'm pro some bullying.
Well, I got bullied in the 8th grade. I had one student that bullied me. So, God rest his soul. He's no longer with us.
Oh, that's too bad. Did you, have your way with him for bullying you?
Not
because that's kind of what you implied there.
Not enough to kill him. He died about 5 years after we graduated from high school. But he and I met behind the gym during a lunch hour one time. And you remember the teacher I told you about with the map pointer?
Mm-hmm.
When I got to class that afternoon, he called me Cassius Clay, which was a reference to Muhammad Ali. So it had gotten through the school. By the way, I won.
Look at that.
The kid never bothered me or bullied me again. And neither did his about 50 friends that he brought with him.
Oh, boy. So what I'm hearing is they started it and Steve Scott finished it.
Yeah. It was one of those things, one of those situations.
All right. Yeah, and Steve, you're not alone.
I'll take a bow.
Yeah, take a bow. There you go. I was going to say I was also bullied, but I was bullied for being too good looking. So that was an issue.
Bullied also because I was a preacher's kid.
Oh, all right. KZRG News Time, 6:20.
KZRG's Big 3 on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks named Connor O'Flanagan as the new state parks director. He's been involved in the department since 2019 and has a master's degree in park, recreation, and tourism management.
Number 2.
A former FBI agent said that Trump should ditch the Alcatraz idea and instead consider opening a prison on San Clemente Island in California. The island is only accessible by boat, and air is used by the Navy to train Navy SEALs.
Number 1.
2 U.S. pilots ejected while attempting to land a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier, resulting in the aircraft being lost in the Red Sea. That's another $67 million of your tax dollars lost at sea. Great news for military aircraft contractors who get to sell us more.
Now, the KZRG question of the day on News Talk KZRG.
Should there be a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? We want to know your thinking. Go to the KZRG Facebook page. News Talk KZRG on Facebook. Do you think we should have a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? Coming up, we're going to take a listen to what's going on with your money on News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Gary,
morning.
good morning.
Hey, Gary.
Gary said, gotta have a girlfriend to have a bunch of little Teds running around. Yeah, that's
well,
true.
Not particularly. You could do a test tube and have somebody else take care of the...
Ugh. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it would be.
Gary said, should be nominating homeschool parents as well. Public schools suck. Yeah, I actually have I think public schools are actually not that bad. Yeah, we definitely need to bolster our education. More funding, maybe. I'm not sure if money is the problem. And I'm not saying it isn't the problem. I haven't really looked into the funding record numbers. But public education, I will say, I think it teaches kids a lot of, for instance, what Steve was talking about. Not just book learning, but how to navigate the world, especially in tumultuous times and situations. Yeah. So I actually I'm actually very pro public school. I think the fact that there are like the quote-unquote riffraff there is actually really healthy for kids, as opposed to just working in your family unit. I think that's very limiting socially. I think it's very limiting opportunistically to work just within the family unit. So I think there's a lot of perks to public school. Yeah, there's the obvious drawbacks, of course. Drugs, gangs, underfunding. You don't really have it's hard to get a word in as to what your kids are being taught. For sure, there's the obvious flaws. Some of the less obvious perks, however, is the fact that they really learn how to operate in kind of rough waters. It's like a sink or swim situation. I'm gonna go watch Thunderbolts either tomorrow or Friday. Haven't quite decided. Gary says, I think if we get the federal government out of it, it would be better. Yeah, maybe. I could see that. I could see given much more power and say on to the states. I think that's a great idea. I'm pro that. Big pro.
Cycling Center.
In just 6 months, you could become a professional manicurist. Hi, I'm Paige Merriman, the admissions coordinator at City Point Beauty Academy. Our nail technology program is structured to teach you the art of being a professional nail technician and provide you with business education to help boost your career. I personally invite you to give us a call or visit our website at citypointbeauty.com to schedule a tour of our state-of-the-art school. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. Don't wait. Start your new career today with City Point Beauty Academy.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Supermicro has issued disappointing guidance a week after the server maker provided preliminary results for the latest quarter that fell shy of Wall Street's expectations. Revenue came in at $4.6 billion, which came in below the roughly $5.4 billion analysts had expected. The stock slid about 4% upon the news. Amazon has unveiled the robot called Vulcan at an event in Germany. The warehouse robot has a sense of touch, allowing it to handle a job previously only done by humans. An up-close look at the hand of the robot reveals how it can feel the items it touches using an AI-powered sensor to determine the precise pressure and torque each object needs. Seagate's chief commercial officer, BST, told CNBC that the company is aiming to launch a 100-terabyte hard drive by 2030. The largest hard disk drive Seagate currently produces is a 36-terabyte Exos M model, which it launched in January. Futures are moderately higher. That's your money now.
Are you living with dry AMD? It
So you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
Wednesday morning, made it halfway through the week, or at least we're starting to get to the halfway point.
Yeah, well, we'll be there by noon.
I was going to say, I feel like noon is a good halfway of the day of the halfway of the week.
That's right. It's kind of a halfway marker.
Sort of a half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll meet you halfway.
Well, we'll see you there. Hey, we do have some weather in the 4 states, don't we, Steve?
Oh, yeah, nothing severe this morning, but we do have lots of light rain. In fact, it's so light it's hardly showing up on the radar at all, but it's there and it's enough to bug you. Put your intermittent wipers on. Keep your headlights on if your wipers are going. And also, if you're behind somebody on the roadway, the roads are wet, so it'll probably pull up a bunch of moisture off the roads and put it on your windshield.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you are an adult listening or a kid out there with a sense of wonderment, go ahead and hop on your little bicycle and run through the puddles. That was always fun for me as a kid. But, make sure you do it not on the actual roadway, and wear a helmet and knee pads and elbow pads and all that.
Make sure it's puddles, though, and not like a pond or a lake.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Not unless you can ride your bike on water.
Unless you ride so fast.
Well, they do have bikes that you can ride on water. They've got paddle bikes. They have like little floaters.
Are you talking about boats, Steve?
Well, they have paddle boats, but I've seen one where it was like they had it shaped like a bike with floaters on it that you could paddle.
Oh, sort of like
the paddle.
Like the little steam-powered little boats they used to have.
Yeah. I like those.
In the Gilded Age. They have bicycle versions of that.
I've seen one. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I've seen one. It might have been an antique when I saw it.
All right. Well, this time, tomorrow morning, KZRG's new segment, Steve rides a pedal bike across a local lake.
What? I didn't agree to that.
We'll have it live. We'll have it on video. And we will absolutely be submitting Steve's Wipeout clips to America's Funniest Home Videos.
Playing the song Wipeout from the 60s, from the Safaris.
Exactly. Hey, coming up after the news, in about 10 minutes here at around 6:40 this morning, we are going to be listening to part 2 of our extended interview with Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Josh Brecheen. Now, this is a pre-recorded interview. Yesterday, and at 6:40, we played part 1. We talked about funding the United States government. We talked about some goals, and we also talked about the Golden Dome, which is Trump's proposal for an Iron Dome-esque situation, but over the United States. And, of course, in Trump fashion, it would be called the Golden Dome.
Of course. Why not?
Yeah. That was part 1. You can listen to part 1 on the podcast section of our website, newstalkkzrg.com. That's our website. Part 2, we're going to be getting into this issue of rogue judges. That's what people are calling them. Doing everything and anything to rule against anything and everything that the president is trying to do.
It'd be fun if the president just made a ruling in a case, like for a court, just said, here's my ruling and sent it to the court. That'd be interesting.
Why don't we do it? They have citizens' arrests. Why can't we do a citizens' ruling?
Ooh, citizens' court.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like an old TV show. Well, I think it's still on the air, People's Court.
Yeah, but
we could have it as citizens' court.
We'll do KZRG's court, and we'll rule against all the rulings that the judges are ruling against the president.
Why not?
I like the sound.
And no appeal.
Zero appeal. Well, except me. I'm pretty appealing. So, aside from that.
Oh, God.
Oh, you going to give me a want for that one?
Yes.
I'll take it. Anyway, all that's coming up and more at 6:40 on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk, KZRG.
At 6:31, I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bohorquez.
Here's what's trending on News Talk, KZRG. Canada, not for sale.
Getting rid of FEMA.
Searching for a new pope. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk, KZRG. We're heading for a high of 65. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith following KZRG Sports. That'll be at 6:38. Now, light rain scattered throughout the 4 states, 55 in Neosho, 58 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Carl Junction, 58 in Joplin, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG. President Trump and Canada's Prime Minister met for the very first time amid trade and annexation tensions.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one.
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering a 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern.
The Homeland Security Secretary testified yesterday.
Days after President Trump released his budget for fiscal year 2026, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taking questions on the future of FEMA, which DHS oversees. The secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many, many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen frontrunners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
It's 58 at 6:34, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG.
In southeast Kansas, 2 people responsible for selling fentanyl that killed an 18-year-old from Frontenac were sentenced. News Talk KZRG's Steve Smith picks up the details.
39-year-old Tabitha Wilson of Pittsburgh and 47-year-old William Davis of Girard will be doing time for their role in the death of Cooper Campiti. Wilson was sentenced to just over 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter and distribution of fentanyl. Davis will spend nearly 3.5 years behind bars for distribution of fentanyl. You can read more about it inside the KZRG app. Steve Smith, News Talk KZRG.
A missing 16-year-old girl from Quapaw, Oklahoma, found safe. And the man from Minnesota she was with in custody. Wathena Frost on her way back home. 33-year-old Jeremy Sertic is in the St. Louis County Jail and now faces possible charges of 4th-degree felony assault, kidnapped, deprived parental rights, and other accusations. 58 with some light rain scattered throughout the 4 states. Now 6:35. If you see News, text us 417-782-1310, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG.
Southwest Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson has explained why he was one of only 2 House members to vote against the Take It Down bill. The bill makes it illegal to post or threaten to post intimate images without someone's consent, including AI-generated deepfakes. Congressman Burleson says sharing non-consensual intimate imagery is abhorrent. but he says this bill is unnecessarily federalizing this conduct that states already have laws against. We'll speak with Missouri U.S. Congressman Eric Burleson on Friday at 7:10.
Jury selection continues today in the federal trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Puff Daddy Combs.
The court is closer to having 12 people seated to hear the evidence against Combs on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. As the court vetted potential jurors, one was dismissed for admitting an arrest years ago for marijuana possession. Others were excused for seeing several media reports on the video where Combs is seen assaulting an accuser. But one man who said that video revealed an angry and entitled man is still in the jury mix. So far, 35 potential jurors have been retained. Lawyers say they expect to have the jury and alternates selected by the end of today. In New York City, Gernal Scott.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk, KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore earned the win after allowing one run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca Blue passed Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. It's absolutely free of charge. It's available at your app store. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bohorquez.
Next news at 7 o'clock. Breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing scattered areas of light rain throughout the 4 states. It is now 55 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Webb City, 58 in Joplin, 100 weather updates every 24 hours. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 6:39.
Dad, have you seen Pepper?
Wait, did I leave the gate open? Did she run out of the door? Did she dig under the fence again? Oh, I gotta start calling the neighbors. Now I need a picture to post on social media.
If you've ever experienced a pet running away, you know it's a feeling you...
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Here's the Doc Dance. Good morning, Doc.
Hey, Dacarino. Suzanne. Good morning, Suzanne.
Hello,
Rose.
Suzanne.
What's going on,
Hi, Rose.
Good morning, Jerry.
Jerry.
Doc. Girl Chris. What's
Girl
happening, Girl Chris? That is Girl Chris.
I know, but it's just funny hearing you say that.
It's Girl Chris. I wanted to make sure that everyone knows. I want everyone to know that I know that Chris is a girl.
Chris is a girl. That Chris.
That Chris is a girl. Hey, Jason. Well,
Hello,
we got the full troublemaker gang in today. I'm gonna do some today. I've been doing some wood burning as of late, making little wood burn arts.
Oh.
I'm gonna be doing some of that today. I'm excited. I also recently got a Sudoku book. And I've now completed 2 puzzles in Sudoku.
Wow.
I know.
My God, you actually completed something.
I know. I'm not going to lie. The second puzzle I completed, I had to do it twice because I got to the end and somewhere along the way I messed up.
Oh, man.
And so I was like trying to backtrack and I was like, I just threw my hands up and I erased everything I did and redid the whole thing.
Wow.
So yesterday I finished that second one, which was pretty awesome. Gary said if it's Girl Chris, it's Girl Ted. No, it's only Girl Ted when I have my New York Girl jacket on, which today I do not. Showcase it on live. Do you mean my, are you talking about my Sudoku, Jason, or something else? I have been doing the third puzzles. The 3D puzzles are cool, Jason. I've seen those. Have you seen those puzzles where it's like metal things stuck together, like contraptions like linked together, and you have to figure out how to like take them apart? Those are cool.
Have you seen a Rubik's Cube?
Rubik's Cubes are cool. When I was in 4th grade, that was like the cool thing to have is Rubik's Cubes. They made a bit of a comeback. Chris, what's going on, boy? Chris said, Ted, you slacking. Ted, you slacking? Where's the Ted disclaimer button for Steve?
Oh, that's right. We were supposed to get one made.
It's true. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it is legitimately on my list.
That's his disclaimer for today.
It's what?
Your disclaimer for today. You haven't had it made yet.
Right, exactly. Oh, pirate ships. That's cool, Jason. Send us some photos if you don't mind. I'd love to see those. Because those are really cool. I'm also with one of my friends, Steve, you'll like this, with one of my friends who happens to be a girl. We are making one of those 3D Book Nook puzzles, Jason. Yeah. We got it from Books A Million in Joplin, and it's like you put it up and it's like a bookend. But it's a 3D, it's 3D, and it comes in flat sheets, and you got to poke them all out. And you got to build them and cross-section them.
Oh, wonderful.
And you make this little 3D. The one that we got is like it's a scenery of a train going over a little waterway, and there's a little shop and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually way more difficult than you might think. I was like, oh, let's get this. This will be a fun afternoon. We've now met on 3 separate occasions and have made very limited progress. It's actually very hard.
Today at ZimmerMarketing.com. And welcome to the Zimmer Marketing family.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk, KZRG, Ted Bojorquez.
And Steve Scott.
Right now, it's a little overcast, and later on, we're expecting some showers. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, we're going to have to put up with the slight rain for a while, but showers are possible as the day progresses. I don't think there's even a slight chance, or there might be a slight chance for some rumbling of thunder, but mostly showers today. High of only 65, so it's going to be cooler today, but guess what? We've got rain in the forecast all the way through Friday now.
Well, all right. Nothing wrong with a little wet Midwest weekend, or weekday, rather.
Yeah, just keep your headlights on if you're using your windshield wipers.
Yeah.
That's the state law.
Yes, please do that. It's also courteous.
It's also so you can be seen.
It's also, yes, and you know what's so important is being seen by others, emotionally, of course. Steve, for instance.
That's so touching.
Steve feels very seen in this moment. Steve,
okay.
I see you. I hear you. Speaking of hearing, we are now going to play for you part 2 of our extended interview with Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Josh Brakeen. Part 1 we played for you at this time yesterday. You can listen back to it on our podcast section on our website at newstalkkzrg.com. Yesterday we spoke about spending in the United States government along with the Golden Dome. And today we're going to listen to what U.S. Congressman of Oklahoma Josh Brakeen has to say. This is, again, a pre-recorded interview, but take a listen. It's Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Brakeen here on News Talk KZRG. Congressman, one more quick question for you in the topic of budget reconciliation, and that is Medicaid. There is talks of cuts. There are talks of no cuts. One, what is your stance on cuts to Medicaid? And number 2, are these real conversations? Can we see cuts, or will we not be seeing those?
Well, I think it's important for anyone to hear about what we're discussing with Medicaid to understand at the end of the day, and Andy Harris has highlighted this on the floor of Congress last week. You have a number of members highlighting this. At the end of the day, even with what we're talking about providing savings, you'll go addressing the waste and the abuse of what Medicaid was traditionally, we'll still end up 20 to 25% increase of Medicaid spending over the next 10 years from the federal government, even if we implement all the things we're talking about. So as it's often said, only in Washington, D.C. do you hear people talking about you're going to end up increasing it, but it's going to be restraining growth. So the political elite start decrying that as cuts. So it's really it's not truth in whole, but what we are trying to do is restrain the growth. And I think it's important people understand this. In 2012, Obamacare expanded the Medicaid population. And since 2012, since Obamacare gave able-bodied, able to work people access to Medicaid, not Medicare that you payroll tax for, Medicaid is paid for by the general government, comes out of your taxes, was set up initially for the blind, the aged, the disabled, the pregnant, and nursing mothers, the impoverished. Poverty. Obama gets elected. He expands under the Obamacare model, not just health insurance that he created this pool for that, was moving us more towards socialized health care, but he increased who was eligible for Medicaid to include the able-bodied, what he called the expansion population. And since 2012, the Medicaid population has grown 60%. Started in 1965, rocks along 40 years later. Since 2012, the Medicaid population has grown 60%. But you know what the U.S. population growth has been since 2012? Only 6%. So if we had just fell in line with Medicaid growth, it would have been 6%, yet because of what they've done, they've expanded it to the able-bodied, it's turned into 60%. The able-bodied population is now the largest subgroup on Medicaid. Not the blind, not the disabled. The able-bodied is about 30 million. Able-bodied people, able to work. There's 30 million of the 80 people across this country that are on Medicaid. Here's another interesting fact. Paragon's put out some information. In the last 2 years plus, it is now the first time in the inception since 1965, since what Obama and Biden administrations have done, that we now have more people above the poverty line on Medicaid than below the poverty line. Part of this is that what Joe Biden called a scam. Joe Biden, as vice president in 2012, called the provider tax a scam. And this is where states aren't doing the match side. They're leaving it to hospitals to do a 6% match. Joe Biden called this a scam. Senator Durbin, Democrat Durbin, called this a scam. And that has also been a part of the exploitation of what was originally state-federal match. This is being farmed out where different service providers are doing the match, and the states are not having to put any skin in the game. California alone is signing up tens of thousands of illegal immigrants on Medicaid, creating housing programs out of Medicaid. This thing is way outside its original mission, and what they're doing is they're inviting so many people onto the rolls that when a blind person or a disabled person is going to a doctor on Medicaid, they're having to compete for services against somebody that's able to work playing video games in their mother's basement. This is not the original mission. So we, at the federal level, are going to be trying to return Medicaid to make sure the blind, the disabled, the pregnant, the nursing mothers, that they, the impoverished, are the focus, and not that this is turned into socialized health care, what the Democrats long planned it to be.
It's Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Burkeen here on News Talk KZRG. Congressman, I want to be respectful of your time here, and so we're up against the clock, but really quickly, I did want to get your thoughts on one more big topic that's going around the nation right now, and that is judges ruling against Trump. There have been calls to action to do something about this. What is your stance on this issue?
Well, we voted for it to limit where a singular judge can implement his political will, his or her political will, in trying to shut down things that the president or the will of the American people in electing him wanted to see done. And you got judges right now that are wanting to give U.S. citizenship rights of due process, United States citizenship due process type rights to illegal aliens, gang members, MS-13, Trinidad or Wagwa, people that we know among their numbers. These gang members, these Trinidad and Tobago, that they rape and kill innocent children, women, young girls. They're wanting due process rights to these people. This whole Garcia argument is falling apart as you hear the news talking about how he beat his wife. Kristi Noem was talking about that this last weekend. And this whole narrative the Democrats are trying to latch onto, it has never been a part to guarantee full U.S. citizenship rights to illegals who come into this country. You got 6,000 of those that were paroled, illegally paroled by the Biden administration, that the Trump administration in recent days has discovered they're on the terrorist watch list or have a criminal background. 6,000. And they're in the process now of deporting them. These are the kind of people that the Democrats, terrorist watch list, you want to give these people due process rights? I think not. And so Darrell Issa had a bill that we passed off the floor last week that is headed to the Senate now that will make sure that one judge can't. It takes a panel of 3 judges. And we are absolutely within our constitutional bounds. The Supreme Court is in Article 3. The presidency is Article 2 of the Constitution. We're in Article 1. Part of our Article 1 powers says that in inferior courts, in Article 1, Section 8, that an inferior court establishment, meaning anything under the Supreme Court, is under Congress to design what their responsibility is. So what we designed is that it takes 3 members of an inferior court to then be able to be the ones to enjoin, try to stop what the president may want to get done, and then it's immediately appealed to the Supreme Court, versus one politically biased court judge trying to run for their next office.
Oklahoma Congressman Brick Keene, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Ted.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Missouri?
Good morning, everyone.
What, okay, who out at 8?
We ran over on them.
We ran over, so I was making sure that ads were timed out well. How's everyone doing?
They were making fun of Ted. Said Ted has a friend. Laughing emoji.
Ted's got a lot of friends.
And then Chris.
I don't have any friends. You know who my best friend is?
Girl Chris says Ted's
JC.
being creative.
I was going to say an inappropriate joke, but I'll save that for off the board.
You know it's a banger when Lucas is like, no. Have you seen that meme where it's someone walking really triumphantly down the hall, and it's when my joke is so funny, HR has me in to say it to them. Mm-hmm. They want to hear
Jason wants to know if you have pictures of you with an actual girl.
I have no photos of me.
Well, you have lots of photos of you.
There's a photo of evil Ted floating around. I
yeah, I used to, a couple of years ago I had a goatee. I absolutely looked evil. No, as a guy, I don't take a lot of photos when I'm with friends.
Which is weird because you do a lot of other suspect stuff.
Yeah, like you have a mirror that you have to constantly stare at.
Well, of course.
You cut out and make collages from magazines.
I did. I'm on a collage kick.
That's
What's wrong with
us,
that?
as the kids say.
That's
he's getting girlfriend
or
eyes.
as Shane Gillis would say, you're getting close, dude.
Lucas,
that's close, bro.
Girlfriend eyes.
Yeah. Dude, I love Gillis's rant when he's like, well, the older you get, the more Republican you get.
Oh, Jason says.
Think I wanted to be this way? I wasn't this way when I was in college. I was a Democrat. I had all these wild-eyed ideas.
Jason wants pictures of the puzzles.
No, I know. I'll send them, Jason, via text when I get them. I don't have. Actually, I might be able to send you a.
So, what is your collage? Is it like a like one of those things where like you imagine and it's like a manifest?
No, it's not like a mood board or anything.
Yeah.
So my original idea is I was going to make a little collage of all my friends and things that I see that remind me of them, and it was going to be a little present for them. But then, as I was going through the cutout process, yeah, and you know what? Don't worry, Lucas, you're not getting one. Mr. Making Faces over there, you're not getting one, all right?
I just tried so hard not to laugh.
No, I was saying, it was fun. And so I was going to cut out little things that reminded me of my friends. But as
Who has magazines anymore? Where do you even get them?
I went to Books A Million and bought a bunch.
Dude, you're supposed to make that's the thing is back in the day, collages, when you did that, you used old trash magazines. They don't even have that anymore, so you have to go buy brand new magazines to collage.
I will say though, Wobble Dork, my good friend, his dog is a pitiful specimen.
It is.
One of the most depressing looking animals ever. He takes good care of it. She's just overweight and old and falling apart.
She's a beagle, right?
She's a beagle, yeah. That's outrageously fat.
Yeah.
And
there is no beagle left in that beagle.
No. I went and found a farmer's magazine and was cutting out pictures of little piggies for the dog. And I know he's not going to be happy with that. But anyway, the collage is fun. You should try collaging, Lucas.
I got 2 kids, so I don't have time to collage.
Collage with them. Have them do it.
Absolutely. I don't even like being in the same room with them for more than 10 minutes. I'm not going to sit down and collage with them.
Let AI help.
After 10 minutes, my voice level raises to a 10.
Dude, I was telling I have an uncle that is so on par with you. And I was telling him some story about some good joke you made about your kids. I'm like, I don't want to be around them. What do I want to hang out with them for?
Yeah.
And my uncle just goes, I mean, he's not wrong, though. And he's completely on your level. Same sense of humor, same everything. And he so quickly jumped to your defense.
That's so awesome.
855-815-GOLD to find out how you can help diversify your savings, tax, and penalty-free today. Help protect what you've worked so hard for before it's too late. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD. That's HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
Ted Bojorquez.
Steve Scott. Lucas Davis.
News Talk, KZRG. Little weather in the 4 states coming your way, but nothing too severe. Is that right, Steve?
No, nothing. Looks like nothing's going to be severe today, at least as of this time. And just light rain right now. Chance of showers. Yeah, it's spitting enough that you have to leave your windshield wipers on intermittent, which means if your wipers are on in the state of Missouri, it's the law. Leave your headlights on.
Yeah, headlights on, peeps. But it's not for you to be able to see. It's for others to be able to see you.
Yeah, the light rain is so light it's barely showing up on any of the radar, but it's there. I know. I got to drive in it this morning.
Yeah, so just keep a heads up for that. Hey, coming up after the news, in about 10 minutes here at 7:10 this morning, one of America's most prominent governors made a trip to the White House yesterday. And no, I'm not talking Gavin Newsom or Ron DeSantis. I'm talking, of course, Mark Carney, the governor of Canada, 51st state. So we're going to be getting into the details on that story. We also have that a little bit in the newscast, but we'll have extended details coming up after the news in about 10 minutes.
This just in, KZRG banned in Canada.
How'd you find that out so quick?
Yeah.
I got a text.
Oh, okay.
And coming up at 8:10 this morning, we're going to be joined by Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter, who's going to be talking to us live here in the KCRG studios about Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, which is, and this is true, this month. So we're going to be joined by him in an hour and 10 minutes. That's at 8:10 on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk, KZRG.
The 4 states news, talk, and severe weather station. KZRG, KIXQ HD2, Joplin. A free service of Zimmer Market.
At 7 o'clock, I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Here's what's trending on News Talk, KZRG. Canada, not for sale.
Getting rid of FEMA.
Searching for a new pope. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk, KZRG. We're heading for a high of 65. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith. Following KZRG Sports, that'll be at 7:08. Light rain scattered throughout the 4 states. 55 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh. It's 58 in Carthage, 58 in Joplin. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG. President Trump and Canada's Prime Minister meet for the very first time amid trade and annexation tensions.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one.
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering a 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern.
The Homeland Security Secretary testified Tuesday.
Days after President Trump released his budget for fiscal year 2026, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taking questions on the future of FEMA, which DHS oversees. The secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many, many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen frontrunners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
58-703 FM 102.9, 105.9 AM 1310, and on your smart speaker news talk KZRG.
A sentence handed down to a man involved in a double fatal motorcycle crash in Joplin.
It'll be 5 years of supervised probation for 20-year-old Colton Goddard of Welch, Oklahoma, who was racing another motorbike on Main Street back in September of 2023 while also fleeing from police. It all ended when one bike crashed into a third motorcycle there near the Casey's on North Main, which claimed the life of 60-year-old Mark McGowan of Joplin. It also killed 20-year-old Teron Morris of Miami, who was racing and had been fleeing with Goddard. I'm Ty Albright, News Talk KZRG.
The Missouri state budget now in the state Senate for debate. Senator Jill Carter telling News Talk KZRG.
We have a $50 billion budget. I think some of the differences between the House and the Senate is deficit spending and extending those tax cuts. That's, I think, where a lot of the deliberation is happening. Also, the governor's priorities, the House stripped a lot of those out. The Senate Appropriations Committee put a lot of those back in.
58-704. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. FM 102.9, 105.9 AM 1310, and on your smart speaker news talk KZRG.
The focus is on Congress and the One Big Beautiful Bill. Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Josh Burkeen told News Talk KZRG the budget bill will get completed with the proper cuts without sacrificing necessary things for taxpayers.
The One Big Beautiful Bill is going to plus up defense, secure our borders, extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and provide some things that President Trump on the campaign trail talked about that he saw as a priority. We're trying to bundle all that together.
Well, your Android device could be under attack. Ooh, time to do a software update.
Google is pushing a big update to its Android operating system for smartphones running either Android 13 or 14. It is a response to what Google admits has been a major attempt by hackers to exploit vulnerabilities in the mobile device software, something that could and would lead to malicious software code being executed on devices, compromising users' data privacy and giving bad actors remote access to the device. Phones running the newer Android 15 are not believed to be affected. The patches come with Android security fixes for this month. Eben Brown.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore earned the win after allowing one run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca blew past Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
It's free of charge at your app store. Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Next news, 7:30, breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. A cloudy day, showers off and on, 65 today. Scattered showers and some thunder tomorrow, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
Weather is a service of La Boussole Medical Spa and Wellness Center. Physician-directed, world-class services at Joplin area pricing. Request a free consultation today at labousolejoplin.com. That's LABOUSSOLE Joplin.com.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing light rain scattered throughout the entire 4 states. 50, make that 57 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh. It is 58 in Carl Junction, 58 in Joplin, 100 weather updates every 24 hours on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 7:08.
If you're a senior in Joplin in need of care, don't sit in a waiting room full of sick patients. Skip the costly ER and choose AFC Urgent Care Joplin. Our doctors listen and care and offer extended hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends. Just walk in or book online at afcurgentcare.com. We accept most insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid. Find us behind Starbucks at 3rd and Rangeline or call 417-536-4232. AFC Urgent Care Joplin. The right care, right now.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the...
But yeah, Tyler wasn't gonna...
everyone.
Good morning.
He wasn't gonna listen to that all day.
I got it fixed, so no need to get Mel.
That's
The
fine.
cord was just loose. What do we have here? Gary, speaking of trains, but a friend of mine... Oh, by the way,
Jody.
Jason. Oh, Jody's here. What's up, Jody? Jason, I saw those texts. That is awesome, dude. I like the lights inside, too. To me, that's what...
Go get Mel.
Yeah, you want to go grab Mel real quick? Just tell him that because this is a new screen. They just installed it, so there's just something wrong with the wire.
It's strobing.
The HDMI wire or something. And, the lights really propel that, I think, to the next level. That is awesome. Hey, see you later, Gary. I hope it's not raining around... Oh, hey, Gary. Or excuse me, Jerry. Good morning, Jerry. I hope it's not raining around noon in Miami, Oklahoma. I have to pick up my German Shepherd. I took her to get bred some puppies. In
To get bred, in other words, to have sex, to make puppies.
Steve! How crass.
She had to be with a friend that was a male.
There could be a beagle left in that beagle. The dog ate it.
The one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Doc, I hope you know, man, I'm going to give you credit, but I am absolutely using that one the next time I hang out with them. Good morning, Jody. Rose. See you later, Rose.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG, Ted Bajorquez.
And Steve Scott along with
Lucas Davis.
We do have a little bit of weather in the 4 states. Steve, what are we looking at?
It's called light rain. In fact, the rain is so light that it barely shows up on most of the radars, but it's there. We are expecting showers and possibly some thunderstorms later this afternoon, now they're saying. Those thunderstorms could continue with the chance of some showers and thunderstorms all the way through Thursday night. Then on Friday, we're just looking for a chance of showers so we can really clean up on Friday. Temperatures, they're not doing too bad right now. It's 57 in Neosho and 61 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Galena, 58 in Joplin, but that rain is coming on down.
Yes, sir.
In most of the area.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Bob will be keeping an eye on that for you. Well, yesterday, a pretty major visit from America's most prominent governor took place in the White House. And again, no, I'm not talking about Gavin Newsom or Ron DeSantis, but Mark Carney, the governor of Canada.
As to quote Trump from yesterday, never say never.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I believe he got from Justin Bieber. But I'm not keeping score.
Well, Justin's a Canadian, if I remember correctly.
That is true.
Ooh.
Full circle, baby.
All right.
Full circle.
I love that even in the face of the prime minister, he still jokes and trolls. Never say never.
Now, I want to play for you that exact what we're referencing here. Take a listen to this audio. It's about 50 seconds long. Very interesting. We're going to get into it right after this, but take a listen.
Met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months. It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past, and part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
And by the way, this is radio, so you're listening, but in the video, when Trump says, but never say never, the Canadian Prime Minister physically moves physically looks uncomfortable. He sits up a little bit and starts, well, hold on, and starts doing all this, but then, the press go in and drown him out.
Oh, of course. Of course.
And then what's even funnier is later on in that interview, once again, Trump goes, well, but, never say never. And the Canadian Prime Minister says, no, never, no. And he's all trying to flag it down. I was going to play that clip for you, but the press in the room completely drown out the Canadian governor's response audibly, so you could just kind of see that he's trying to get a word in.
Well, one of the things that makes this guy different as the Prime Minister of Canada compared to Trudeau, he doesn't come from politician ranks. He comes from the banking ranks because of, I don't know if you were aware of this, but he has now been the head of the central banks in both Canada, for the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England.
Oh, interesting.
In fact, he was one that was pushing ESG in the
environmental social governance
for the entire banking world. And so he's got a lot of I guess you could call it a hootsa.
Hootsa?
Yeah, in other words, he's got a lot of
fish?
No. He's got a lot of backing with what he has. He's not just a flash in the pan when it comes to banking. So it's going to be a challenge for Trump, I think.
For sure. Yeah, he does have that financial background, obviously, which is interesting because you would think, look, we all know money talks, and as a banker, I'm sure he is very cognizant of that. And yet, he was still someone that pushed environmental social governance, which was like a woke thing.
Right,
or
so
whatever.
Maybe he hasn't slept much. Maybe he's still awoke.
Boo. So he's kind of a weird middle ground of the traditional, look, I'm a money manager, money talks, but also woke.
But he's not afraid to say, yes, I say never.
Right, exactly. So, hey, Trump might have his stuff cut out for him. We're sitting at a KZRG news time of 7:15, switching gears here, but keeping it international just for this segment this morning. First, we had Ukraine and Russia, and then we had Israel and Gaza. and Hamas, I should say. And now, presenting the third horse of the modern warfare apocalypse, India has officially launched military attacks on Pakistan.
You called it the third horse?
The third horseman of the World War III apocalypse, yes.
Where's the sound effects of the horses galloping?
Right here, Steve. That was actually pretty good. We might do, I should have brought in 2 halves of a coconut and done sort of like in Monty Python.
Oh, that'd been good.
Yeah, that would have been better. And by the way, I would like the record to show that when this news broke out, I found out about it because Lucas Davis called me while I was in El Gimnasio just to inform me. And Lucas, I picked up and I go, yeah? Like, why are you calling me after work hours? And he goes, yeah, so basically World War III is definitely going to be happening now. India just attacked.
Good imitation of him.
India started
it.
Which, in fact, it's actually a retaliation from the terrorist attack, so...
And that's what India is saying. Now, the official story from India, this is coming from India's government. India said they attacked what the Indian country, India, is calling, quote, terrorist infrastructure in neighboring Pakistan in 2 of its occupied territories. And according to reports, that strike killed at least 1 child and wounded 2 others in what Pakistan is calling a blatant act of war. So back to it's the exact same Israel-Gaza thing, except which
or
is just
Ukraine-Russia thing,
or the Ukraine-Russia, which is a he said, she said. We're freedom fighters. No, you're not. You're terrorists. No, we're fighting against your terrorism. So we're counter-terrorists. No, we're counter-terrorizing your terrorism. And somehow we, the U.S. taxpayer, is going to get dragged in it and spend a bunch of millions of dollars doing something about it.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, with the money, because both Pakistan and India are loaded with bucks, big bucks.
The rupee, it said, just fell, though, for the most in a month ever. So India's currency is currently bottoming out.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the big bucks, I mean, Israel has a lot of bucks, too. That doesn't stop us from sending a lot of money their way. Billions, by the way.
It's just proxy war here, proxy war there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not shade at the current administration. They didn't start these. But they are going to have their hands, busy, pretty filled and busy trying to broker peace.
That'll be the only thing that keeps us from donating to this war as well, is the regime in charge right now.
Yeah, well, and the fact that we're already donating billions to Israel, and
that
we're
wouldn't
slowly
have stopped
waning
the
off
previous
of that
regime, though.
They didn't stop what?
That wouldn't have stopped the previous regime, even if we would have been donating to 3 wars all at the same time.
That's a fair point.
No,
That's a good
4
point.
at least. There would have been a 4th one somewhere.
They would have started a 5th one just to round it out. A good round number.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like this is happening. Now, Donald Trump, he did technically speak on this, but he spoke off the cuff, as he tends to do. But in this case, he spoke off the cuff in the sense that he literally just found out by the time he issued this.
It's like me calling Ted.
Basically. And basically Trump said, this sucks. This is unfortunate, and he said hopefully that this fighting won't go on. Hopefully we can broker peace, but there is not an official statement on what involvement, if any, the United States government or you, the taxpayer, is going to have on this India-Pakistan war.
But we get a lot of goods from both Pakistan and India, so it's going to be quite interesting to see if that gets disrupted.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. KZRG News Time, 7:20.
KZRG's Big 3 on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks named Connor O'Flanagan as the new state parks director. He's been involved in the department since 2019 and has a master's degree in park recreation and tourism management.
Number 2.
A former FBI agent said that Trump should ditch the Alcatraz idea and instead consider opening a prison on San Clemente Island in California. The island is only accessible by boat and air. It's used by the Navy to train Navy SEALs.
Number 1.
2 U.S. pilots ejected while attempting to land a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier. Result? The aircraft lost in the Red Sea. Yet another $67 million of your tax dollars lost at sea. Great news for military aircraft contractors. We get to sell us more.
Now, the KZRG question of the day on News Talk KZRG.
Should there be a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? We want to know your thinking. Go to the KZRG Facebook page. Join the live conversation happening right now. Coming up, we're going to take a listen to what's going on with the weather and Terry Smith. That's coming up next on News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with at least
good morning, everyone.
Some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers.
Nah, that's true, Chris. Yeah, girl Chris. Yeah, the coconuts. That'd be good. I like those movies. Monty Python. Monty Python really did walk so modern comedy could run.
Can I have dessert, Daddy-O? Let me see your plate. Oh, looks like you ate really good. Yeah, I finished all of my stuff for it. So can I have dessert? Pretty please. Okay, fine. There's some pie in the pantry. Help yourself.
Hey, I'm Doug, and I'm Rory from Bugaway Pest Control. Do you know if there's a termite buffet going on in your home? At Bugaway Pest Control, we're the area's experts on termites. The national chains may have a termite playbook that they use, but we're from here and we know what works here. Remember, if you don't see our logo, it's a no-go. We're the first pest control company in the area to offer Centricon, the #1 brand in termite
Ted and Lucas should
protection.
practice with
It's
them
even
off
used to
air.
protect
Yeah, we
pest
should do,
pathogens.
girl Chris, we should do like in, we should do like in, the old-timey radio, when all of the sound effects were live. They have all the little, like, bells and whistles and toys and whatnot in the studio. That would be kind of cool. That'd be bringing it old school.
What gets in the way of eating your favorite foods? What prevents you from smiling at pictures of your most memorable moments? For so many, it's the almighty dollar. The cost is often the deal breaker for the smile that you deserve. But with dental centers, it doesn't have to be. Of course, Mid-America Dental and Hearing Center accepts insurance from Delta Dental, Guardian, Aetna, United, Humana.
Check your texts. Yeah, Jason, I saw them. That is awesome, dude. Seriously. The lights on the interior of the ship, to me, is really what takes that, like, propels that to the next level. That is awesome. I thought that's super cool. So when you got that, Jason, did they come as individual parts? Like was this a kit? Because I imagine it's much more complex than Legos. They do look super dope, though. Alright, we're going to switch you guys over here. Terry Smith is calling it.
Oh no, we only have 1 box of trash bags. What did we use last year? 2, 3 boxes? I think we better get some more.
No way. We're not going through 82 trash bags again this year. We're calling Reliable Roll-Offs. One and done.
Add Reliable Roll-Offs to your spring cleaning checklist. Learn about a free estimate at ReliableRolloffs.net. When you're counting on a job well done, you need Reliable Roll-Offs.
Hinkle's Ace Hardware, they got what you need there.
Spring has arrived at Hinkle's Ace Hardware, your locally owned garden center in Joplin and Webb City. Our greenhouses are bursting with life, featuring exclusive Monrovia landscape plants you won't find anywhere else. Transform your landscape with our stunning collection of dogwoods, showcasing spectacular spring blooms in pristine white, vibrant pink, and rich scarlet varieties. Make a bold statement with our dramatic pink pampas grass, reaching impressive heights with its feathery pink plumes that create the perfect focal point for any garden. Create a tropical look with our banana and bird of paradise, mixed with our unique bedding plants. Plus, we've got all your favorite vegetables ready for your home garden. Don't miss our exclusive redbuds with white blooms or color-changing leaves. Our expert staff is here to help you create the garden of your dreams, helping our neighbors create their own personal paradise. Hinkle's Ace Hardware, Joplin and Webb City.
Neighbors helping neighbors, Hinkle's Ace Hardware Store.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
7:25 is the time. It is now. Ted Bojorquez is the voice you're hearing now.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Steve Scott's the voice that I just stepped over Ted.
That's all right. I forgive you, Steve. You know why?
Now the laugh from Terry is stepping over both of us.
KZRG meteorologist. Back here. KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith. Thanks for giggling at our bad jokes.
My pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure.
Well, Terry, I was going to mention to you that the rain is so light this morning in the 4 states that it's not even really showing up hardly at all on the radar, but it's there because I got to drive through it. But I do have a question to ask you about this forecast for today that you've been talking about. It kind of reminds me of an old commercial for a ketchup.
Oh, anticipation.
It's slow good.
How did you know that off the cuff, Terry? I'm very impressed.
Because Steve and I probably grew up about the same time.
We did.
Is my guess. I remember that commercial. Either that or I just watched way too much TV.
Yeah, actually, I think they put the ketchup in the freezer first, trying to get it to harden up a little bit.
That would be a good trick. Yeah, so this weather pattern is, the word I like to use is nebulous. Like, we know that low pressure system that's been sitting and spinning is still to the west, and we know it's drifting our direction. But because it's just kind of meandering, it reminds me of a lost child in a department store where, it's just kind of going wherever. The rain with it is not as, concentrated and as easy to kind of pin down.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that to the south and to the southwest of us, they've got flash flood watches out in western Oklahoma and Texas and Louisiana.
I know Louisiana did. I saw that this morning. Boy, did they get hammered along the coast yesterday and overnight as well. So, yeah, lots of heavy rain down by the Gulf Coast region. And we're seeing some of that moisture being drawn in from the south. But we're not going to get the heavy kind of rain like they saw, the, inch, 2-inch, 3-inch amounts in a short period of time. We've got lots of clouds today. We will see showers off and on. The rain, for the most part, will be light to moderate. Temperatures are going to be cooler as a result of the clouds and the rain today, 65, the high today. Showers and some thunder overnight. It'll be scattered. Not everybody gets wet. We still have some rain tomorrow morning, but I think it'll be tapering off because it looks like that low-pressure system will be finally trying to move far enough east of us that we'll get some drier air later in the day. 67 the high. Friday's a sunny day. We may get a brief shower, 70 Friday, and then the weekend is just a spectacular spring weekend. And I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that Mother's Day is on Sunday. So make some plans to do something with Mom this weekend.
All right. Sounds like a great idea. I can't wait. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what's the weather outlook looking like for Sunday Mother's Day?
I think our temperatures will be in the 70s, pretty much on track for May. So, I get kind of excited when our weather is average because we have so many extremes that I get really excited about an average May day because it's really nice.
Yeah. KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith, thank you for joining us this morning.
All right, guys.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow, Terry. That was KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith here on News Talk KZRG. Hey, coming up after the news in about 10 minutes here at 7:40 this morning, a Poison Ivy League school laying off triple-digit number of staff members because the Trump administration pulled funding from them because they weren't doing anything to protect Jewish students. That's coming up next on News Talk KZRG.
At 7:30, I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Here's what's trending on News Talk KZRG. Canada, not for sale.
Getting rid of FEMA?
Searching for a new pope. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Heading for I-65. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith following KZRG Sports. That'll be at 7:38. Scattered areas of light rain throughout the 4 states. 57 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh. It's 58 in Columbus, 58 in Joplin. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. President Trump and Canada's Prime Minister meet for the very first time amid trade and annexation tensions.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one.
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering a 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern.
The Homeland Security Secretary testified on Tuesday.
Days after President Trump released his budget for fiscal year 2026, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taking questions on the future of FEMA, which DHS oversees. The secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many, many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen frontrunners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
58. It's 732, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG.
In southeast Kansas, 2 people responsible for selling fentanyl that killed an 18-year-old from Frontenac were sentenced. News Talk KZRG Steve Smith has the details.
39-year-old Tabitha Wilson of Pittsburgh and 47-year-old William Davis of Girard will be doing time for their role in the death of Cooper Campiti. Wilson was sentenced to just over 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter and distribution of fentanyl. Davis will spend nearly 3.5 years behind bars for distribution of fentanyl. You can read more about it inside the KZRG app. Steve Smith, News Talk KZRG.
Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley not too happy with the recent Trump administration decision.
Calling it a serious mistake, Hawley bashed the Trump administration's decision to defend federal regulations that currently allow an abortion pill known as mifepristone to be available online and by mail. The DOJ asking a judge to toss out a lawsuit from Missouri and Kansas that seeks to cut off telehealth access to the drug, which Hawley says is remarkably dangerous and threatens the lives of both baby and mother. I'm Ty Albright for News Talk KZRG.
58, now 734. If you see news, text us 417-782-1310, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG.
The focus is on Congress and one big beautiful bill. Oklahoma U.S. Congressman Josh Burkeen told News Talk KZRG that part of the focus should be to undo the tax credits given to wind and solar companies that are killing our fossil fuel industry.
There's $1 trillion over 10 years we're going to be giving to the leftist billionaires who are in wind and solar, and you know that props up China's economy. Super majority of the solar and battery components are coming from China, and we are killing our fossil fuel industry underneath our feet, the liquid gold, and blessing China.
Jury selection continues today in the federal trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
The court is closer to having 12 people seated to hear the evidence against Combs on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. As the court vetted potential jurors, one was dismissed for admitting an arrest years ago for marijuana possession. Others were excused for seeing several media reports on the video where Combs is seen assaulting an accuser. But one man who said that video revealed an angry and entitled man is still in the jury mix. So far, 35 potential jurors jurors have been retained, lawyers say they expect to have the jury and alternates selected by the end of today. In New York City, Gernal Scott.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore earned the win after allowing 1 run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca blew past Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
It's free of charge at your app store. Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Next news at 8 o'clock, breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing some scattered areas of light rain, very light rain, throughout the 4 states. It's 57 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Crestline, 58 in Joplin, 100 weather updates every 24 hours on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 7:38.
Here we are live in the bottom of the ninth. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Everyone's looking at the chief carpetologist to come through again. Here's the pitch. Swinging a long one. Home run, Tyler's Carpet.
Hey everyone, it's Ron, the chief carpetologist here at Tyler's Carpet in Neosho. Is your flooring down to its last strike? If so, it might be time to call your home team flooring store, Tyler's Carpet. We've got a huge showroom and a wide variety of wood, carpet, and vinyl flooring from all the major league brands that will make your home or office destined for the Hall of Fame. We'll field all of your questions, cover all the bases, and step up to the plate to make sure your new flooring is a grand slam. At Tyler's Carpet, we've got over 30 years experience of all-store flooring service.
Tyler's Carpet in Neosho, always ready to come through with the big hit for you.
And remember, keep the chief in mind, carpetologist, that is.
Tyler's has the carpets you've been looking for. Your complete floor covering store.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big John's is here. They'll clean your space. Roll off dumpsters. They work fast paced. Moving out evictions too will help you clean. No stress for you. When life gets messy, they'll lend a hand. Big John's roll-off, add them to your plan. Selling mom's house, they'll clear the place. Call Big John's, they're on the case.
I'm the Big John with Big John's Roll-Off Service. Whether you're moving out, cleaning your parents' home to sell, or just need some help with spring cleaning, Big John's now offers clean-out assistance. And that can help save you time, reduce stress, and ensure that your items are properly disposed of. See for yourself why we're the fastest-growing roll-off and construction company in the 4 states. And give us a call for cleanup assistance today, 417-540-0663. When you've got big waste, you need Big John's Roll-Off Service.
Big on service, big on savings. Big John's.
I'm Joyce. I'm the treatment coordinator at Team Dental of Joplin.
I'm Mike Marquardt. I'm a patient of Team Dental.
Mike, I remember the first day you came in. We all just hit it off. We hit it off so well. In fact, we knew you were new to the area, so we invited you to a celebration at the office.
It was one of the, very sweet of you all. Team Dental has always been very gracious with Shar and myself, I am graciously accepted. They've been always kind, and I think that's important when you go to the dentist. It's not the place that you always like to go to, but, going to the dentist is, it's a pleasure. I like to see the people.
Yeah, it is. So many people just dread going to the dentist, and we try to make it as pleasant as possible.
I'm Dr. Lemus from Team Dental of Joplin. Welcome to the neighborhood practice for your whole family. Learn more at teamdentalofjoplin.com.
Team Dental of Joplin, your neighborhood practice for your whole family.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
7:40 in the morning. It's Ted Bojorquez.
It's Steve Scott.
And we got a little bit of rain coming to a 4-states area near you, slowly but surely. Isn't that right?
Oh, the anticipation of waiting for that light rain to go through and heavier rain a little bit possible later on today. 67 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Galena, 58 in Joplin. We do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Thunderstorms later today. Chance of thunderstorms overnight to tonight. Tomorrow, more chances of thunderstorms, then showers. Tomorrow night, chance of thunderstorms and showers. And on Friday, we do have a chance of some showers. Nothing too major. But do remember, again, this morning, if you have to use your windshield wipers, keep your headlights on so other people can see you. Not just because you want to, because it's the law.
Yeah, and also common courtesy. Be kind to thy neighbor type thing.
Yeah, make sure you are seen.
Yes, be seen and heard. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but Columbia University, one of the Poison Ivy League schools, they said they will be cutting around 180 staff members following the Trump administration's announcement that it is canceling $400 million in federal grants to the school for Columbia's, quote, failure to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitic harassment, end quote.
Wow.
So basically what the news is here is that Columbia University announced that they were using your tax dollars for payroll because apparently
endowments, what do they use those for? Oh, growing the bank account.
Would you look at that? Yeah. Your tax dollars were helping the payroll of what is technically a nonprofit entity. Technically on paper, that's what they are. But let's be honest, one of the most highly profitable industries right now in American culture, where they charge students hundreds of dollars for a textbook and make you pay money to park your car there. That's the other crazy thing about them is staff. And I looked this up last night. People that work at Columbia University have to pay Columbia University for the privilege of parking their vehicle at their workplace.
Wow.
Could you imagine this morning, as you're cruising around the 4 states, you're heading to work, if you had to pay your boss for the right to park at the very place that they require you to be there?
Wow, that's amazing.
And by the way, the whole school, and not to harp on this parking thing, but I'm about to harp on this parking thing.
Ooh, go for it.
Poor boo-hoo Columbia University. Oh no, Trump's so evil. He's taking away $400 million from us. We have to lay off staff now.
Oh.
So mean. Their parking passes are $272 per parking pass per month.
Wow.
Not $272 for the year. Every month, students and staff each have to pay $272 a month to park on their campus.
And if you're even a student that's staying in a dorm, you're paying to park your rear.
And that's also true. Now, I did some math last night, Steve.
Could you imagine if you were trying to go out on a date and you had to pay for a one-day parking pass maybe for your date to come and join you or pick you up?
Yeah, probably.
On the,
I'm pretty sure they do have guest parking passes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did the math on this, Steve. And keep in mind,
do I need to get the calculator out?
Get the calculator out. Disclaimer, I'm a product of the California public education system. So if I got some numbers wrong, that's because I know how many genders there are instead of how addition works. But check this out. Columbia University has, and this is me rounding down, has about 9,600 students enrolled. That's a round down. 9,600. They have about 7,200 faculty members. Now, I'm going to be nice to Columbia University. Their summer session is 3 months, from the end of May to August. So let's say, hypothetically, all the students and all the faculty members are paying for a parking pass 9 months out of the year. I won't even do the whole year because let's say they all go home for summer break. So if you have 9,600 students and 7,200 faculty members paying $272 a month for the right to park their car on their university, the university is raking in $41,224,320 every academic school year for parking alone.
Do they get a cut of the parking tickets on top of that, like for people that park illegally?
Oh, like if the school, I'm not sure about that. That's a great question.
Then they're making more money then.
Right. That's a great question. But on a minimum basis, if everyone's paying for parking, which admittedly, not every student, and some take the bus, some walk, whatever.
And how much are they paying again?
$272 a month. The school's raking in more than $41 million every academic year on parking alone, and they have the audacity to require and demand you pay them for payroll. You as a taxpayer, they wanted more of our money for payroll to pay their staff. And Trump said no, and they said, fine, we're going to fire 180 people because we can't afford to pay them, apparently. And then they have the audacity to decry Trump and say, wow, he's evil. He's costing people jobs.
No, parking passes are costing jobs.
Or they're
people
just
can't
not
afford
using
them after using the money.
Or
colleges in general are just a giant just a giant waste of money in a lot of areas. Like, they have jacked up the cost of education so much in the past 30 to 40 years, it's insane.
No, it's ridiculous. And it's, I would argue, borderline a monopoly, because we are now at a point, and this isn't necessarily the government or the school's faults, but societally speaking, it is really difficult to get a decent job that is white collar in this country without a college degree. Doesn't even matter what the degree's in. I have a lot of my friends from college that work in HR in various companies. They tell me they don't even, if there's no college written on an application, they won't even look at it. And
you
that's
could have
not
10
them.
years experience and no college education, and they won't look at you because you don't have a college degree.
And that's not HR. That's company policy in a lot of places, not everywhere, in a lot of places. And I know what you're thinking. Well, there's a lot of blue collar, there's trade schools. 100% super viable option.
I'm
but that's
so happy
not for
trade
everyone.
schools are making a swing back into the main, focus of a lot of kids, because look, as AI advances, you know what jobs aren't going to disappear that quickly?
Trucking,
trade jobs,
welding, gardening, farming, all of that.
And it's crazy because they pushed like computer programming, computer science to
Learn
so
to
many
code.
kids, and those are the first jobs that are going to be gone.
Remember what Obama said? Oh, we're going to shut down all of these factories. Learn to code, nerd. Why don't you try that? Oh, wait a second.
And your job's gone.
And your job's gone again.
Although I will say, after the latest update to Android, there is one job that's going to be prominent.
What's that?
Phone repair person, because the new software update with AI sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So anyway, back with this college thing. Yeah, it's completely ridiculous for them. Honestly, I have to say, good for the Trump administration for, in my opinion, withholding that funding. And then the left, they always say, well, the funding is for scientific research and everything. Well, use your money better, universities. Like, I'm sorry. You're making $41 million every academic year on parking alone. That one thing. 41 mil right in the bank, right into their pocket. And they can't figure out how to put their money towards scientific research. They require you, the taxpayer.
Employees.
Yeah.
What's that?
They all of a sudden can't afford their employees.
Yeah. I mean,
you're making a killing, and they probably charge, what, 300% on parking? I guarantee you more than the average split. Like, if you go downtown somewhere to park, they're charging 300% more at least.
Probably.
It's insane.
No, the whole thing is just completely ridiculous. But we're curious your thoughts. Feel free to text us 417-782-1310. Where do you think we're wrong in this?
I wouldn't pay that much money to park in my house.
Well, the problem
you
is
may already. It's called a loan payment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mortgage.
The problem is they're holding people hostage, because what are they going to do? Walk? Are they going to ride a horse?
Did they make public transportation available? Is there a proper bus system, or
I mean, it is in a major
electric
city.
scooters or whatnot?
It is in a major city.
They have to have alternatives. Otherwise, you're right. They're strong-arming people. Yeah.
Yeah. KZRG News Time, 7:50.
KZRG's Big Three. on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks named Connor O'Flanagan as the new state parks director. He's been involved in the department since 2019, has a master's degree in park, recreation, and tourism management.
Number 2.
A former FBI agent said that Trump should ditch the Alcatraz idea and instead consider opening a new prison on San Clemente Island in California. That island is only accessible by boat and air and is used by the Navy to train Navy SEALs.
Number 1.
2 U.S. pilots ejected while attempting to land a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier, resulting in the aircraft being lost in the Red Sea. Ah, boy. Yet another $67 million of your tax dollars lost at sea. Great news, though, for military aircraft contractors who get to sell us more.
Now, the KZRG question of the day on News Talk KZRG.
Should there be a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? We want to know your thinking. Join us on the KZRG Facebook page. Join the live conversation happening with more than 45 others. Do you think we should open a new probe into Fauci and the COVID pandemic? Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think maybe we should just let sleeping dogs lie? What are your thoughts? Coming up, your chance to win a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from Ghetto Tacos on News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
We now listen to the sounds of the average American sibling conversation.
I need that outlet.
No, I'm using it to charge my phone.
Well, I need to charge my phone. And you already have a speaker, a tablet, and your laptop charging in the other room.
Can't you just wait? Aiden's supposed to FaceTime me in a minute.
Girl, I'm doing you a favor. He's ugly anyway.
Is this a common occurrence in your home? You may be suffering from a condition known as too many kids, not enough outlets. But there is hope. You can end the arguments if you just iPocket. I'm Callie iPoc from iPoc Electric. You may be amazed how much of a difference small electrical additions to your home could make. Do you have a fan that you purchased but don't actually trust yourself to install? Would you like some extra lighting here or there? Or maybe you have switches that don't work and breakers that keep tripping. If so, it's time to iPocket with iPoc Electric and Solar.
Find us on Facebook or at iPocElectric.com.
That's IPOCK Electric.com.
If you have electrical issues, iPocket with iPoc Electric and Solar.
Living in the 4 states, you know who to call when your roof needs work. Cole and the guys at Superior Roofing. And when you're looking for just the right tool for the right job or a new plant for your front porch, you go see Chris and John at Hinkle's Ace Hardware. And when you want the smile of your dreams, you see Dr. Kirk and Dr. Postjan at Joplin Family Dental. You know these businesses because each of them took the time, the leap, and invested in their brand with a transformation at Zimmer Marketing. Hey, I'm Chuck Mefford, and we've helped countless businesses all over the country build their brands, and more importantly, showed them how they can actually measure the success of their marketing budget. Doesn't matter what your business is, the system can work for any category or industry, including yours. And just like Superior Roofing, Hinkle's Ace Hardware, and Joplin Family Dental, let's make your business a household name with a transformation. You can get started on your transformation today at ZimmerMarketing.com. And welcome to the Zimmer Marketing family.
Well, they say we either make ourselves happy or miserable. The amount of work is the same. It's Ted Bojorquez here, and when it comes to real estate, that's not exactly true, because if you're trying to find a home all on yourself, or rather all by yourself, going through the market, sifting through it, looking for sellers, looking for buyers, you got to know all the laws and the codes and regulations. That's a lot of work, and you're going to be miserable. So you can either do that, or you can do almost no work at all and make one quick phone call to my good friend Forrest Stodgel, who will handle all of that for you effortlessly, flawlessly, while keeping you in the loop and keeping you stress-free. Forrest Stodgel, he's brokered by Real. He's the greatest real estate agent in the 4 states area, and he can make it happen for you with very little work, and I assure you, you will be incredibly pleased. So go online and search JoplinHomes.com or Google Forrest Stodgel and start packing.
Welcome back to Check Yourself, everyone's favorite checking account game show. It's time for our speed round. Are you ready, contestant?
I am, game show host.
This institution has absolutely free checking with no minimum balance.
Oh, Community Bank and Trust.
This bank offers free business checking, which includes no charge for ACH or cash deposits.
Oh, I know, Community Bank and Trust.
People who open new personal or business checking accounts will receive a free gift.
It's Community Bank and Trust.
Get more with your new checking account from Community Bank and Trust. Be sure to ask about absolutely free checking, the account that gives you all the features you need for 0 monthly fees, no matter which account you choose. You'll also get a free gift card just for opening an account with us. Community Bank and Trust, where trust is so important, it's in our name. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 580491.
It's the KZRG Morning Challenge.
Your chance to win a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from Ghetto Tacos.
To win it, be the first one on the phone with the correct answer to the question at 417-782-1310. 417-782-1310. Ted, what's the question?
Well, Route 66 passes through the 4-state area. It is known globally for its nickname, the Mother Road. Who gave Route 66 the nickname the Mother Road? 417-782-1310. And I'll give you a hint. It's a name you are familiar with. It's a famous person. It's not some rando. I guarantee you know this name upon hearing it. Who gave Route 66 the nickname the Mother Road? 417-782-1310. This question is in honor of National Tourism and Travel Week, which is this week. Route 66, a.k.a. the Mother Road. Who gave Route 66 that name? I'll give you a hint. It's an author. A famous American author. 417-782-1310. Steve, what's on the line here?
A complimentary taco plus chips and salsa from the award-winning Ghetto Tacos.
News Talk KZRG, do you have a guess?
Well, I'm having a brain fart now, so I forgot.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in anyway.
No, it was not brain fart.
Oh, yeah, that was a good guess. Brain fart's a great guess. But
Great guess.
417-782-1310. Which famous American author gave Route 66 the nickname the Mother Road? I'll give you a hint. He wrote Grapes of Wrath. News Talk KZRG, what is your guess?
John Steinbeck.
That is correct. John Steinbeck is the one that famously coined the nickname. Who do we have here?
Ellen.
Hey, Ellen, what's your favorite radio station?
It's KZRG 1310.
I'll love to hear it, Ellen. Are you a John Steinbeck fan by any chance?
No.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the honesty. How did you know? Was it a lucky guess?
I asked Siri. I admit it.
There it is.
That's better than Gemini.
Yeah.
Well, again, Ellen, we appreciate your honesty. Hey, don't go anywhere, Ellen. We're going to be with you in just a second here, and you, my friend, have just won a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from Ghetto Tacos. Stay on the line here if you don't mind. Yeah, John Steinbeck is the one that gave Route 66, the nickname the Mother Road.
Grapes of Wrath was a good book, though.
Yeah, pretty classy writing.
And the Mother Road's a good road.
That's true. Hey, coming up in 10 minutes, speaking of road, Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter is going to be joining us live at 8:10 to discuss Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Good morning.
The Four States News, Talk, and Severe Weather Station. KZRG, KIXQ HD2, Joplin. A free service of Zimmer Marketing.
At 8 o'clock, I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Here's what's trending on News Talk, KZRG. Canada, not for sale.
Getting rid of FEMA.
Searching for a new pope. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG, we're heading for a high of 65. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith. Following KZRG Sports, that'll be at 8:08. Light rain scattered throughout the four states, 57 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 58 in Webb City, 58 in Joplin, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG. President Trump and Canada's Prime Minister meet for the very first time amid trade and annexation tensions.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky. I mean, how good is the great one?
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering the 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern.
The Homeland Security Secretary testified on Tuesday.
Days after President Trump released his budget for fiscal year 2026, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taking questions on the future of FEMA, which DHS oversees. The secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many, many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen front-runners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
58 with clouds. It is now 8:03, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG.
A sentence handed down to a man involved in a double fatal motorcycle crash in Joplin.
It'll be 5 years of supervised probation for 20-year-old Colton Goddard of Welch, Oklahoma, who was racing another motorbike on Main Street back in September of 2023 while also fleeing from police. It all ended when one bike crashed into a third motorcycle there near the Casey's on North Main, which claimed the life of 60-year-old Mark McGowan of Joplin. It also killed 20-year-old Taryn Morris of Miami, who was racing and had been fleeing with Goddard. I'm Ty Albright, News Talk KZRG.
Time for a reckoning. Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley calling out Tyson Foods for shutting down its plants in Knoll and in Dexter, but for also allegedly using child labor in their supply chains. Hawley urging the Labor Secretary to investigate the matter, but Tyson, they deny any wrongdoing. Cloudy, 58. Scattered light rain in parts of the four states. 8:04. If you see news, text us 417-782-1310, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG.
The Missouri House passed a bill that would require certain job seekers to submit their fingerprints to the Highway Patrol for a background check. This includes people applying to be substitute teachers, healthcare workers, accountants, appraisers, and many others. Branson Republican Brian Seitz is not a fan.
This is the biggest Big Brother bill I've ever seen in my 4 years of the House of Representatives. Everybody and their brother, except for the Walmart door greeter, is going to be fingerprinted.
Correction, that's Brian Seitz. The bill goes to the Senate for another vote.
Your Android device could be under attack. Time to do another software update.
Google is pushing a big update to its Android operating system for smartphones running either Android 13 or 14. It is a response to what Google admits has been a major attempt by hackers to exploit vulnerabilities in the mobile device software, something that could and would lead to malicious software code being executed on devices, compromising users' data privacy and giving bad actors remote access to the device. Phones running the newer Android 15 are not believed to be affected. The patches come with Android security fixes for this month. Eben Brown.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore in the win after allowing 1 run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca Blue passed Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. It's free. It's available at your app store. I'm Steve Scott.
I'm Lucas Davis.
Next news at 8:30. Breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. A cloudy day, showers off and on, 65 today. Scattered showers and some thunder tomorrow, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
Medical Spa and Wellness Center. Physician-directed, world-class services at Joplin area pricing. Request a free consultation today at laboussole.joplin.com. That's LABOUSSOLE Joplin.com.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing scattered areas of light rain throughout the 4 states. 57 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh. It's 58 in Diamond, 58 in Joplin. 100 weather updates every 24 hours on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 8:08.
At the Missouri Department of Agriculture, they know protecting your livestock is a top priority, especially when black vultures are involved. Use the following tips to keep these pests away. Pen birthing animals near human activity. Remove roosting locations such as dead trees and abandoned barns, and scare vultures away with loud noises. Visit agriculture.mo.gov for more tips. There are plenty of mitigation options available. Get help today at agriculture.mo.gov.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
8:10 in the AM. It's Ted Bojorquez.
It's Steve Scott.
On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Joining us live this morning with the Missouri State Highway Patrol is Corporal Sam Carpenter. Thanks for joining us, Corporal.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Now, Corporal Carpenter, this month is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, which is definitely a big one. Could you walk us through what are some of the safety tips for, I want to start off with non-motorcycle drivers, our four-wheeled friends on the road.
Right.
What are basic tips for them to keep us safe?
So May usually is always motorcycle awareness, just simply because the weather gets nice. People get their two wheels out and enjoy the day. For our four-wheel friends, the biggest thing we ask people to do is look twice. You see those signs everywhere. Motorcycles, they're small, and they're moving quicker than they look like they're moving. So when you're pulling out into a roadway, check both ways, sit there for a second, check both ways again. That's the biggest thing. And then obviously just please don't drive distracted. Motorcycles, they appear pretty quick. And if you're not looking out the windshield, you might not see one, and then all of a sudden there's one there, and they've got nothing to protect them. So, just be aware of your surroundings. That's what we're asking.
Yeah, and blind spots too is a big one.
Yeah, blind spots. Most cars have, at least a small one. Big trucks have large ones. That usually, again, it's coming back to double check. Check once, check twice. Don't change lanes without looking. Don't rely on your cars. Cars now have those lights in the mirror that say someone's next to you. A motorcycle might not trip that sensor. So don't rely on that. Actually, just rely on your eyes and look before you turn.
Yeah, and that's it's like look both ways before crossing the street. Look before you turn.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter on News Talk KZRG. Now let's take it on the flip side of that. For our two-wheeled friends out there, what are some basic tips that the Missouri State Highway Patrol and you would recommend for keeping them safe?
Well, obviously, you got to be licensed and certified to ride a motorcycle. Let's not be out there on a motorcycle if you haven't taken a course and have a license for that. And again, you've got to be aware too. Motorcycle drivers have to drive defensively all the time, head on a swivel. And speaking of head, I know that the Missouri rescinded the helmet law, but it doesn't make it illegal to wear a helmet, right? We still encourage everyone to wear a helmet. That's the only piece of protection you've got on that bike. So while it's not mandatory if you're 26 or older, we encourage everybody to wear one. It may not be fashionable, but it's better than smacking your head on the asphalt.
I was going to say, what's really fashionable is having a fully intact skull.
Correct. Yeah. And another thing, people don't realize too, is part of that, the deal that goes with not wearing a helmet. Not only, you can not wear a helmet, but not only do you have to have insurance on your motorcycle, you have to have medical insurance that's going to cover your expenses if you're involved in a crash not wearing a helmet. And that's part of the law. A lot of people don't realize that. That's how serious of a thing it is to not wear a helmet. As Missouri, they said you don't have to wear it, but you have to have medical insurance to cover your expenses when and if you do get hurt.
Oh, wow. And I bet that is not cheap.
It's medical insurance, but insurance companies probably aren't going to like it if you get injured and you could have been doing something to prevent the injury.
Right, exactly. It's Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter here on News Talk KZRG. We're talking about Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, which is in the month of May. I wanted to talk to you for our two-wheeled friends when it comes to things like rain. Things like when it's either currently raining or it rained the day or 2 days before. Mm-hmm. Safety-wise, is that advisable to ride in those conditions or no?
Well, you got to know your limitations. There's riders out there that are experts, and there's riders that are novices. Our roadways get really greasy when it rains. Mm-hmm. And for two wheels where the contact patch of the tire meeting the road is so small, that can be a dangerous combination. It just all comes back to driving within your ability and also driving for the conditions. Obviously, slow down if it's wet. Slow down if there's anything on the roadway. You know, we would tell the same thing to people in a car, and it's even exacerbated with two wheels on a motorcycle. So going through a wet curve, you know, and again, unfortunately, what we see significant injuries on low impact, low speed crashes because people aren't wearing any type of safety equipment. So, you know, I keep stressing that, but we really do encourage people to continue to wear helmets and be careful. We understand you're having fun. We understand it's nice. I used to ride. It's a good experience, but you got to be safe about it.
Yeah. Speaking of helmets, I know there's sort of it's not super new, but there's those lines of helmets that have speakers in the helmets, like headphones, basically. Mm-hmm. Do you recommend that for riders, or is that a safety hazard in of itself, having earbuds in while on a motorcycle?
I don't recommend wearing a headset or any kind for anybody operating a vehicle, any vehicle. You need that spatial awareness of, you know, you can a lot of times hear things coming before you can see them coming. And so that goes back to, you know, a lot of motorcycle guys, they do the loud pipe save lives slogan. So they like the loud exhaust because they think that people can hear them coming.
Oh, right? Interesting.
So not if you're wearing headphones. You see people in cars wearing headphones. And now headphone technology is noise canceling. You can't hear anything outside the headphones. It's dangerous. So again, operating any vehicle is a full-time job. We don't want you distracted by absolutely anything. So no headphones, no cell phones, no anything that ends in phone. Put it all down. Don't use it.
Got it. So no xylophones either. No instruments.
What about tablets?
Any electronic device. Yeah.
Okay, that covers it all.
Tablet phones. It's Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter here on News Talk KZRG. We're talking about Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. We're sitting at a news time just after 8:15. Corporal, I also wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to get your insight on, is there a common theme when it comes to motorcycle crashes? Is there a common culprit? Is it often, for instance, maybe distracted driving or slippery roads or inexperienced drivers? Or is it all just kind of totally up to chance?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would put it up to chance because, you know, any two vehicle crash is preventable. So we don't throw that up to chance, because if two vehicles collide, that means somebody broke a traffic law. It doesn't happen any other way. It's not a popular view, but it's factual. So I would say a lot of our motorcycle crashes are failing to yield type of crashes. And it can be on both parts, the vehicle's part or the motorcycle's part. But we see a lot of that where somebody pulls out in front of somebody else, and that comes down to being distracted and not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, here at News Talk KZRG, unfortunately, we get reports like that all the time. Of it always starts with somebody didn't yield.
Right.
Somebody pulled out a little bit further than they were supposed to, and boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's in a hurry and doesn't take into account the consequences of that.
Yeah. It's Missouri State Highway Patrol's Corporal Sam Carpenter here on News Talk KZRG. Corporal, is there anything else you think people should be aware of or know about when it comes to Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in the month of May?
Well, I mean, like, we have a lot of awareness months and safety days, and while it's good to talk about them during that time, because it's just getting going typically, people ride year round. Mm-hmm. We want that to carry out 12 months a year. You know, just don't, I'm going to really focus on being safe in May, but the other 11 months, we want you to be concerned about it year round, because there's some people that's their only way to get around on a motorcycle. So they may be riding their motorcycle in December. You know, you always have to be looking out for each other.
Yeah. Corporal Carpenter, thank you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Coming up next, we're going to take a little look at what's going on with Kim Commando and technology on News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
clog that can't be beat. When your shower water is above your feet. When you flush that bowl and it makes you frown.
Spring River makes that drain go down.
Hi, this is Nathan Terry with Spring River Drain and Sewer. I was trained as a plumber in the United States Air Force, and now I'm proud to be your hometown plumber. Our licensed drain experts at Spring River are ready to tackle any drain or septic problem. We use flat rate pricing and don't charge by the hour, so you know the price before we even show up. And we don't make you wait. We pride ourselves on quick service. And we'll inspect your drain with a camera to make sure the job is done right at no additional charge. Contact Spring River Drain and Sewer and get started on fixing your sewer or drains today. Schedule an appointment at springriverdrain.com. And remember,
Spring River makes that drain go down.
When considering a home remodel, it's a
Good morning, everyone.
Remodel and restorations, they believe in solid. That means solid work, solid people, and solid results. Don't risk your biggest investment. Work with builders who consider themselves.
Hey, Carol, how you doing?
Good morning, Carol.
Unique style and needs. Learn more about solid remodels and restorations at solidrr.com.
I was able to come over. As for looking twice, the motorcycle drivers should look twice as well. You wouldn't believe how many motorcycle drivers have blown around me just to exit off a highway. Yeah, no, it's a two-way street, Gary. No pun
Also,
intended.
I've seen people doing wheelies on motorcycles going down the street.
Cool whip. Every time.
Why are you saying it like that?
Every time Steve does husband or wheelie or any of that, I always think of that family. There's a Family Guy clip where there's Cool Whip, and Stewie insists on pronouncing it with the H.
Cool Whip.
So he says Cool Whip, and they go, "It's just Cool Whip. Why are you saying whip?" He goes, "What are you talking about?"
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
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 Why are you saying it like that?
Yeah.
Saying it like what? Cool Whip.
And so normally people
have emphasis on the H.
Normally someone would say wheelie, but you say wheelie with the H.
I thought I said wheelie.
No, you just said wheelie.
There's definitely wheelie. Well,
Cool
that's a whale of a lot of fun. See, that one didn't save. Hey, look. Oh, no, I didn't do the 2. I did the 9. You just touched the screen. I used to do the 930.
As attacks against Elon Musk continue, it's not just Tesla
Yeah,
owners whose
9:37.
names and addresses are being
No,
published,
she said,
or
'cause
as
it's
it's called,
10:30, 'cause when Ben was
doxed.
out, I had
Oh,
Information
gotcha.
on literally everyone
Yeah,
has
no, I
become
usually do
weaponized.
9:30.
Even on Tesla owners, maybe even
are at risk. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the free CFO's Guide to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning right now at netsuite.com/Kim. Renegade websites with names like DogeQuest are publishing the names, addresses, and phone numbers of people who are supposedly Tesla owners. This way they can be easily harassed and threatened. But many have never owned a Tesla, or they sold theirs years ago. If you contact the website to ask for removal, they demand proof that you sold the car. The burden is on innocent people to clear their names of what? Once owning a Tesla, back when owning a Tesla showed that you cared about the planet? This is the real-world consequence of massive data collection. Stay up to date with all things digital with my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. Rates rising or falling, inflation being up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. And speaking of opportunity, you can now download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free for you at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
Ted Bohorquez, Steve Scott, News Talk KZRG, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310 on your KZRG app, which is totally free to download, by the way. and also on your smart speaker. We have a little bit of weather that is slowly but steevily moving into the 4 states area.
Yeah, that's correct. We've got.
And by the way, Steve, I said steevily because I know if I said surely, you were going to say don't call me surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
I didn't want to have to deal with that, so I said steevily.
Don't call me Stevely.
All right.
Call me Steve. We do have some light rain that's actually showing up on the radar right now. It's a little bit, very light. It's mostly in northeast Oklahoma and southeast Kansas, but there is some in southwest Missouri as well, just not very strong. Heading for a high today of 65. Chance of showers, changing over to some thunderstorms possible later on. Then a chance of showers and thunderstorms extending all the way through Thursday night. Friday, just a chance of showers happening. And then we get to a nice weekend with lots of sunshine, including Mother's Day, 73 with sunshine on Sunday.
Well, that's nice.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, in honor of your mother. That's very sweet. Speaking of your mother, Steve, a.k.a.
Well, at least you didn't say Joe Mama.
A.k.a. Joe Mama.
Oh, I ruined it.
Weight limit signs have been added to roadways in the 4 states.
Has nothing to do with mamas.
Joe Mama. It's
my case, me, but not you.
All right, here's a 5th grade era elementary joke for you. Ready, Steve? Yo mama's so fat.
How fat is she?
Yo mama's so fat that Missouri Route 43 northwest of Lamar in Barton County was forced to put up a weight limit sign of up to 25 tons for single-unit vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, that's also a news story and also a Yo Mama joke. But yeah, in Barton County.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, my God. Well, it's
not exactly road construction except for they have to put up the sign.
Yeah. They are going to be adding signs indicating a weight limit of 25 tons for a single-unit vehicle. That's going to be installed on a bridge on Barton County Route V. That's going to be about 1.6 miles west of Missouri Route 43, just northwest of Lamar. That's where that sign is going. Now, the new load posting, which, by the way, does not affect tractor-trailers.
Right.
It came about during the department's regular bridge inspection process to analyze load limitations, which have been updated per Federal Highway Administration guidance.
Wow.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. I mean, generally speaking, that's not going to affect your average Joe-mama, but it will affect the truckers in the area.
Yeah, the bridge was built in 1954, and it's got a bridge rating of fair at this time.
Oh, well, that's good. Fair is always nice. You know, fair-skinned, fair-haired.
Fair to partly cloudy, continue quite cool.
Yeah, precisely. So, yeah, new weight limit on a bridge just northwest of Lamar. Like I said, you can keep that in mind if you'd like, but nothing too crazy considering, you know, not a lot of people are cruising around in 25-ton vehicles.
By the way, during the interview just a moment ago, we had a phone call came in telling us that for some reason in the construction area, they've closed down Zora between Newman and also it's just 249. So they've closed it down for some reason for construction.
Yeah, we're gonna have some updates for you on that. We'll send Lucas over to take a little look, see what the heck is going on. And as Lucas is listening to us sitting at his desk, he's rolling his eyes because he knows he's
big
gonna have
time.
to
He's
go.
rolling his eyes.
Get it rolling?
Yes.
Car, vehicle, wheel,
Right.
rolls.
Yeah, it's too bad it's not a big yellow school bus with wheels going round and round.
By the way, the want was for me.
That actually
Steve.
deserves this.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll leave to the news here. Hey, coming up after the news in about 10 minutes here at around 8:40 this morning, we're going to be getting into this story about what the heck we're going to be doing with rural mail delivery service. Missouri State Senator Josh Hawley has some pretty choice words on the somewhat niche but also important topic of rural mail delivery. That's going to be coming up next in about 10 minutes here at FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Good morning.
At 8:29, I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bohorquez.
Here's what's trending on News Talk KZRG. Canada not for sale. Getting rid of FEMA. Searching for a new pope. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Heading for a high of 65, your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith. Following KZRG Sports, that'll be at 8:38. Scattered areas of light rain throughout the 4 states, 59 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 60 in Webb City, 60 in Joplin, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. President Trump and Canada's Prime Minister meeting for the very first time yesterday amid trade and annexation tensions.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good is the great one?
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering a 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern.
The Homeland Security Secretary testified yesterday.
Days after President Trump released his budget for fiscal year 2026, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taking questions on the future of FEMA, which DHS oversees. The secretary staying committed to eliminating the agency.
President Trump has been very clear since the beginning that he believes that FEMA and its response in many, many circumstances has failed the American people.
FEMA has come under criticism from both sides for allegedly being too bureaucratic, with some proposing legislation to take the agency away from DHS and have the administrator become a Senate-confirmed position. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz.
133 cardinals starting the process of choosing a new pope.
Inside St. Peter's Basilica, among the final glimpses for now of the men who will elect the next pope, a procession of cardinals for a mass to mark the papal conclave. Later, they'll be locked away from the world until 2/3 agree who should lead the Roman Catholic Church, and that's far from clear. It's the most diverse conclave in history. Pope Francis made sure to appoint cardinals from all over the world. Local media report around half a dozen frontrunners. The first vote is just a few hours away. In the Vatican City, Jonathan Savage.
Cloudy, scattered areas of light rain, 60 at 8:31, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG.
Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley is not too happy with a recent Trump administration decision.
Calling it a serious mistake, Hawley bashed the Trump administration's decision to defend federal regulations that currently allow an abortion pill known as mifepristone to be available online and by mail. The DOJ asking a judge to toss out a lawsuit from Missouri and Kansas that seeks to cut off telehealth access to the drug, which Hawley says is remarkably dangerous and threatens the lives of both baby and mother. I'm Ty Albright for News Talk KZRG.
No tax on overtime. Kansas U.S. Senator Roger Marshall trying to make that a reality.
Again, it's a tax deduction for overtime wages, but it sets some guardrails around it. So it caps it at $10,000 for individuals and $20,000 for married couples. And then there's a deduction phase out if your income reaches $100,000 for an individual, $200,000 for married couples as well.
Marshall says President Trump is also committed to the initiative. 60, cloudy, some scattered areas of light rain throughout the 4 states. 8:33, if you see news, text us at 417-782-1310, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG.
Memorial Day is quickly approaching. Outdoor 22, American Legion Post 13, and Mount Hope Cemetery are hosting Memorial Day ceremonies at 10 in the morning Memorial Day to honor a fallen vet and turning his ashes for a final resting place.
So we're going to be able to honor him with a proper ceremony on Memorial Day to get him the military ceremony that he earned and deserves.
That was Scotty Hettinger, the executive director of Charlie 22 Outdoors on the KZRG Morning News Watch.
Jury selection continues today in the federal trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
The court is closer to having 12 people seated to hear the evidence against Combs on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. As the court vetted potential jurors, one was dismissed for admitting an arrest years ago for marijuana possession. Others were excused for seeing several media reports on the video where Combs is seen assaulting an accuser. But one man who said that video revealed an angry and entitled man is still in the jury mix. So far, 35 potential jurors have been retained. Lawyers say they expect to have the jury and alternates selected by the end of today. In New York City, Gernal Scott.
Now with sports, here's Lucas Davis on News Talk, KZRG.
Alec Burleson's two-run double in the sixth inning sent the Cardinals past the Pirates 2-1 on Tuesday. Matthew Liberatore earned the win after allowing one run in 7 innings. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are back at it today at 12:15. You can hear that game on our sister station, AM 1230, The Talker. Bobby Witt Jr. walked the Royals off over the White Sox for a 4-3 win with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Isbell homered in the win for Kansas City. KC and Chicago square off tonight at 6:40. In D2 baseball, the MIAA Championship Tournament has updated its schedule in order to avoid the rain in the area. Missouri Southern is now hosting Emporia State at Warren Turner Field at 1 p.m. today. In prep baseball, Webb City beat Ozark 7-1. Carl Junction got past Marshfield 7-5 in extras. Willard beat Joplin 3-1. Republic beat Carthage 4-3. Seneca Blue passed Cassville 11-1. And Jasper beat New Heights Christian 4-3. Lucas Davis, News Talk KZRG.
It's free at your app store. Download the Zimmer Storm Center app today. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bojorquez.
Next news at 9 o'clock. Breaking news as it happens. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. And on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Here's KZRG meteorologist Terry Smith.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm system. And so we're dealing with rain, at least a good shot of some wet weather today and tomorrow. Today, cloudy with showers, 65 this afternoon. Scattered showers, some thunder tonight, and some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, mainly early in the day, 67 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith in the KZRG Storm Center.
KZRG Storm Tracker radar showing very light rain scattered throughout the 4 states this morning. 59 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 60 in Crestline. It's 60 in Joplin. 100 weather updates every 24 hours on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 8:37.
What gets in the way of eating your favorite foods? What prevents you from smiling in pictures of your most memorable moments? For so many, it's the almighty dollar. The cost is often the deal breaker for the smile that you deserve. But with dental centers, it doesn't have to be. Of course, Mid-America Dental and Hearing Center accepts insurance from Delta Dental, Guardian, Aetna, United, Humana, and over 200 more insurance providers. But they can also help with care credit, so you can finally get your dental work completed. Don't let cost keep you from getting the dental care you need. See how you can get the dental care that works for your budget with dental centers.
I'm Brian George, CEO of Mid-America Dental and Hearing Center, just off of I-44, exit 44, and at midamericadental.com. Changing lives and making smiles at dental centers.
Our best for less in a day at Dental Center.
You've seen what hail can do to a car. Now imagine what it just did to your roof. I'm Jamie Bridgewater, owner of Bridgewater Roofing. If your roof was recently hit with hail, let us take a look. We are the TAMCO Pro Diamond certified roofer with financing available, and we will help with the insurance headache. We've handled hail damage in our area for 25 years and can help you too. Get started at our showroom on 7th Street in Joplin or at bridgewaterroofing.net.
Bridgewater Roofing takes care of you.
As a contractor, red iron buildings can be a headache, but you can do it quicker, easier, and more cost-effective with Overman Steel and Fab.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey, the screen's staying lit.
The screen's not flat. Never mind. Just set it in flash off.
Directly to the manufacturer. Call Jonathan and the crew and discover an easier way to build red iron buildings with Overman. See their work at Overman Steel and Fab on Facebook or overmansteelandfab.com.
Okay, final. It's time for
Ted, today it looks like he has Larry's haircut from the Three Stooges.
Do not want a repeat of last time. Okay, got it?
Bye, Gary.
Slowly into the bath. Final. Stay. You're getting water everywhere. This is impossible. Leave the wrestling match
Alrighty,
to the professionals at All Dog Stream. They offer grooming and they're accepting new clients. Your pet can enjoy a basic groom or the Groom Works. Groom Works includes a haircut.
I have Larry's haircut. Which one's Larry?
He's the one that's got the fuzzy hair that sticks out.
Oh, the curly hair?
No, that's curly. He's bald.
Yeah, but the one with the fuzzy hair that sticks out that's
Right.
curly?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Larry. Yeah. With the Larry haircut today?
Yeah. It's better than the Mo haircut, which looks like he just took a cereal bowl and cut the...
I like Mo's haircut.
And book your dog's reservation online at alldogstream.com. Let your dog
Play and learn with us at All Dog Stream.
Living in the 4 states, you know who to call when your roof needs work. Cole and the guys at Superior Roofing. And when you're looking for just the right tool for the right job or a new plant for your front porch, you go see Chris and John at Hinkle's Ace Hardware. And when you want the smile of your dreams, you see Dr. Kirk and Dr. Postjan at Joplin Family Dental. You know these businesses because each of them took the time, the leap, and invested in their brand with a transformation at Zimmer Marketing. Hey, I'm Chuck Mefford, and we've helped countless businesses all over the country build their brands and, more importantly, showed them how they can actually measure the success of their marketing budget. Doesn't matter what your business is, the system can work for any category or industry, including yours. And just like Superior Roofing, Hinkle's Ace Hardware, and Joplin Family Dental, let's make your business a household name with a brand transformation. You can get started on your brand transformation today at ZimmerMarketing.com. And welcome to the Zimmer Marketing family.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
Just after 8:40 this 4-state morning, it's Ted Bojorquez.
It's Steve Scott.
News Talk KZRG on your favorite frequencies, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. Also on your favorite totally free to download app, the KZRG app. We have weather.
Well, light rain.
Question mark?
Light rain this morning. In fact, it's so light that some of it's not even showing up on the radar. You might just run into it in different patches throughout the entire 4 states. But going to be a nice day today. Otherwise, 65 for the high with a chance of showers and thunderstorms as the day progresses. The fact that the chance of showers and thunderstorms goes all the way through Thursday night right now. And then a slight chance of some more showers on Friday.
Are there a chance of meatballs by any chance?
Working on that.
All right.
But they might be too greasy. I don't know. They might be too greasy. You might have to get vegan ones.
Oh, okay.
It's 59 in Neosho, 61 in Pittsburgh, 60 in Galena, 60 in Joplin.
All righty. Yeah, News Talk KZRG will keep you up to date on that rain that may or may not be rolling in slowly but steepily.
Rolling.
Well, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, he is the U.S. Senator for Missouri. He introduced the No Regional Transportation Optimization Act.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
Real fancy schmancy. This in response to the United States Postal Service's Regional Transportation Optimization Plan. So the U.S. Postal Service said, we have an optimization plan. And Josh Hawley said, no, you don't. I don't like it. So that's what's going on.
Like, for instance, for us here in Joplin, it would delay even more our getting our mail and or packages that come through the mail.
Yeah,
if it was put into effect.
Yeah, basically the plan. So yes, essentially the optimization plan would delay rural mail delivery as it is currently written, would delay by up to 24 hours.
Yeah.
However, the reason they're doing this, the mail service is suggested this, is because the Postal Service claims under this plan it would save U.S. taxpayers $2.3 billion a year. For a total of more than, I think it was like 40-something billion over the next decade.
You know, it might save them a large amount comparable to that, possibly even more.
What's that?
Stop forcing them to be the only organization in the federal government that has to pay a much higher amount for people to retire on. That's being forced by the government right now. So
Wait, what do you mean?
Remove that. Well, for instance, their input that they put into the pensions.
So you're talking about
higher.
Postal Service workers.
The Postal Service workers, right?
Okay.
Well, it's not the Postal Service workers. They put in their share, but the government is mandating that the post office or Postal Service put in a much higher amount of money into the plan with the employees, much more than any other organization in the government.
So the Postal Service has to put more money into Social Security?
Substantially. No, not into Social Security, into their private pension. Into their retirement plan, not Social Security.
All right.
Into the retirement plan for
Okay.
for pension.
So there's a way we could save money. That solution that you had just suggested.
Right, because they're being required to put in a substantially higher percentage or amount of money than any other government organization in the United States.
Do you think it's possible we could save money in two ways? One, what you just said, we can lower that pension requirement, save some money there. And two, maybe save $2.3 billion a year by expediting and
I don't think I would agree with that optimization plan because they're planning on not picking up the mail in the afternoons and taking it on to the centers to be processed.
Right.
That's the plan
that's
they're putting
the plan,
in place.
and that's where it would delay rural mail delivery by up to 24 hours.
Right.
So now here's my question. To be honest, if you just look at like cost benefit analysis here. In one hand, you get $2.3 billion a year. In the other hand, your mail might be delivered by a maximum of 24 hours. And that's the thing.
I don't buy it. They might say it might be one day, but it'd be more than that. And I'll explain why in a minute.
Here's the deal, is it's not even guaranteed to be delivered later, and it's not even guaranteed to be delivered later by 24 hours. It could be delivered later by a maximum of 24 hours in exchange, $2.3 billion.
Here's the reason
that seems like a good trade-off.
Yeah, it sounds like a good trade-off, but again, could and would are two different things.
And that's a fair point.
And I'll give you an example. I have a package that I'll be supposedly getting delivered today that I was ordered that came delivered by the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said originally that it'd be delivered by today's date. Now, the tracking, allegedly it showed up at the post office yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
Whenever the truck was coming to pick up the mail for the takeout for the rest of the day.
Gotcha.
But that package was actually sitting in Kansas City, bouncing back and forth between distribution centers in Kansas City for 2 days. It could have been here on Monday.
Yeah.
If they would have actually stopped playing jump back and forth between distribution centers.
To be fair, to push back a little bit, that is more an issue with their inner working system as opposed to optimizing their
That's
system.
why I don't believe it'll only be delayed by 24 hours.
I see what you mean. So you're saying that because they're so bad at what they have currently, you don't believe that them optimizing it will actually deliver what they promise.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
In any way, shape, or form.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
That package that was delayed by 2 full days.
Yeah. It's not been notified to me yet that it's actually been delivered. It just said it's sitting in the post office at 4:43 yesterday
All
afternoon.
right, so that package that was delayed by X amount of days.
Right.
Did your life end as a result of it being late by a few days?
It could. It was medicine.
It could. All right. So
And
there's
this
a good point.
And this
Medicine.
is one of the things that the Medicare, I'm on Medicare now, Medicare wants to deliver refrigerated medicines that way.
Mm-hmm.
One time on this particular medicine that I do get through a mail order,
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to take 5 to 7 business days.
Okay.
One time, it bounced back and forth between Kansas City's distribution centers so long that instead of 5 to 7 business days, it was actually over 18 business days.
Oh, my.
Well, when you have a refrigerated medicine,
right,
there's no room for that refrigerated medicine to be sitting bouncing back and forth.
Totally. I totally agree.
So that's why I have not switched to that particular Medicare mail order pharmacy because it's not reliable.
And that makes sense. Now, if they found a solution, let's say hypothetically for medicines specifically, they had a different subsection that completely streamlines that specific process of delivering.
Right.
Would you be okay with optimizing the Postal Service to save taxpayers $2.3 billion with a B dollars every single year if they found out a way to solve the specific issue of medicine by mail?
I think there's a lot of fraud that needs to be caught by Doge in the Postal Service system.
Really?
That would
interesting.
possibly save enough money that they wouldn't have to do this. That's my own personal opinion. I don't have
think there's
anything to
more
quote
than
it
$2 billion worth
Would
of
not
fraud?
surprise me in the least.
Oh, wow. I would like to see. Do you have any, off the cuff?
I have nothing to base it on. It's just a belief.
Just a vibe.
Yeah,
a
but
gut
I'll give you
feeling.
an example. When I mailed in my check to the IRS.
They stole it.
But no, they didn't steal it. It was
okay,
owed.
so no fraud there. That's good.
When I mailed the check into the IRS, if I would have sent it where I got absolutely no proof that I'd mailed it, that would cost 73 cents, I think. But there's no guarantee it's going to get there by a certain date. When I sent it by another service called Priority Mail, it's supposed to be there within a certain amount of time. The only way you could guarantee it would be there by a certain day would be if you got express mail, which is allegedly overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
allegedly.
But then they have some miraculous different tracking system on the Priority Mail, which allegedly says that it's true tracking. Well, why aren't they putting this true tracking on all mail?
Capitalism, baby. They want to make some little more chang out of it.
A little more, 73 cents to over $10. Yeah, that's per postal item that you send.
Right. Yeah, no, look, that's a really good point. The Postal Service absolutely needs an overhaul. And so this optimization plan that they have, to me, is an effort of them trying to fix things. You don't have trust in their performance now to afford them an opportunity to try and get better, though, is what I'm hearing, right?
I think their promises are totally worthless.
Okay, I see that.
Totally worthless.
And so the only way they would be able to convince someone like you, Steve, is if they actually did better with the services they offer currently.
I mailed a letter by certified mail in October of 2023.
I haven't gotten it yet.
It was sent to a business in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
According to the tracking,
Sorry, Steve, someone, instead of emailing complaints, handwritten letters.
It was a very important piece of mail that had to go in reference to retirement account stuff. That was, according to the tracking system, it's never been delivered.
Oh, my.
And not only that, I paid extra for the return receipt. I have not received the return receipt. Now, here's the funny thing. The company that it was sent to has already replied.
Oh. Well, made me laugh.
Like a year and a half ago. But my point is, they haven't got their act together. There's got to be fraud and savings that could be made just by doing their job correctly.
Or maybe just waste instead of fraud. Maybe
waste would be a better way. Stop.
Maybe it's not with malice. They're just not very good.
Stop taking a package and rotating it between distribution centers for like a week at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. KZRG News Time, 8:50.
KZRG's Big Three on News Talk, KZRG.
Number 3.
The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks named Connor O'Flanagan as the new state parks director. He's been involved in the department since 2019 and has a master's degree in park recreation and tourism management.
Number 2.
A former FBI agent said that Trump should ditch the Alcatraz idea and instead consider opening a prison on San Clemente Island in California. The island is only accessible by boat and air. It's used by the Navy to train Navy SEALs.
Number 1.
2 U.S. pilots ejecting while attempting to land a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier, resulting in the aircraft being lost in the Red Sea. Yet another $67 million taxpayer dollars lost at sea. Great news, though, for military aircraft contractors to get to sell us more aircraft.
Now, the KZRG question of the day on News Talk, KZRG.
Should there be a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? We want to know your thinking. Go to the KZRG Facebook page, News Talk KZRG on Facebook. Join the live conversation happening right now with more than 70 others. Should there be a new probe into Dr. Fauci and the COVID pandemic? Coming up, we're going to take a little look at what's going on with the weather on News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. This is one slow-moving storm.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Look forward